that. I can wait another day. There we go. We are live. My question is Twitch live? Yes. It is indeed live as well. Nice, nice, do. We are live now, do. Okay, welcome to the Fluff exhibitions and welcome to another SCP Reading Sunday. We read through SCP 590s yesterday, and it was a decent length. And I will be honest, I'm a bit exhausted. I drank a monster last night and I stayed up until like 5 in the morning. It was daylight saving time, so there was actually an extra hour where I was up even longer than I intended to. But we'll still get this done. We'll get this done in a well-mannered fashion. And with well-mannered, I just mean absolute bonkers. Okay, I don't have anything to drink here, but I'm on good energy. And I kind of want to get today a bit faster done because it is Halloween. Capture top moments is great. Oh, I can capture top moments. I capture moments as they happen. Wait a minute. I can add stream marker. That might be useful. I need to test that out afterwards. I'm going to test that out once I start actually, we'll test that out right now. So, let's get to it. Yeah, I want to get a bit done faster today because it is Halloween and I haven't watched a single horror movie yet, so I kind of want, get into that. But let's see here. So if I'm going to say now, SCP-600, stream marker add marker appears in the video editor after the stream ends. Oh. But how long do I have to wait till I can add another one? Can I only add one, or is it like every like... Aha, okay, it looks like it's like around 10 seconds that I have to wait till it resets the stream marker, but that's good. 600, that guy, that's where the stream marker is. That is cool. That is very useful for me for afterwards. Well, welcome YouTube, welcome Twitch. I hope y'all enjoy as I read some SCP. Alrighty then. Again, as I said, that guy. It's 600. It's a safe. Decent reading. Also, it's been a while since I was last here. Also, I love you, Af. Hey, welcome to Fluff, sexy bitch. It's been quite some time. If you missed yesterday's stream, I did say in yesterday's stream I'm planning to stream a bit more often. So the plan is that Wednesday to Friday, I will start streaming around 9. Like 9 London time. Games, of course. Like what the game is, the title will say, and of course, my mood. And Saturday and Sunday will be this. I will read to you guys some SCP. And let me see what you guys just said. I try my best to come, and if I don't, it's because of work. Hey, listen. You do you, okay? Your life is important to yourself. Don't try to like force yourself to come here if you can't. Take care of everything on your side first. And this, I ain't leaving. I'm around here. I'm around. So if you miss the stream, you can always watch it afterwards anyway. And if you miss many streams, then eventually you will find one stream that I'm on, and then you can just pop in. So absolutely no worries. But that's but like your Afro, and I like you. Okay, the Afro's with you, by the way. Okay, let's go. SCP-600 is contained in a Class E suite. So that guy is called, this SCP called that guy inside 17. Dimension 15 meters by 15 meters by 3 meters. 2 security cameras monitor the subject at all times. A stainless steel door with a reinforced double pane. Excuse me, I'm reading a bit fast. Double pane window secures the suite. No special procedures are required or entering or exiting the suite. with the caveat that SCP-600 may attempt to follow researchers out of containment. A simple reprimand in order to return to containment has proved sufficient to curtail this behavior. Like you too, like, wait, what? I said enough. I saw it, but I pretend I didn't see anything. SCP-600 is a humanoid entity approximately 1.7 meters tall, with a build approximating an adult human male of average weight for its height. The subject is generally featureless, lacking facial features, external ears, nails, body hair, genitalia, and anus. Well, that's a whole lot of details. Full body scans have shown SCP-600 to have no internal structures of any kind, instead being formed from an unknown material of uniform density close to that of human muscle tissue. It neither ingests, respirates, nor excretes. The subject's age has not been determined. So that's already... I wonder if I should write this one down for the potential web series I want to... Gotta look, cause I have something to do. Okay. Well, I hope you stay around for a while. I wonder if I should write this one down as a potential idea for the web series I want to do with the SCP, but, you know, let's just go read on and see what happens. SCP-600 telepathically affects all humans who view it, causing it to take on the superficial personal characteristics. This effect only alters the visual perception of affected persons. SCP-600's actual form can still be detected by cameras, sensors, and touch. The perceived resemblance between SCP-600 and an affected viewer is general and superficial. No viewers have found it to be notable or uncanny in any way. Characteristics imitated by the subject include, but are not limited to, hair color, skin color, eye color, approximate age, clothing style, and general physique. Note that clothing imitated by SCP-600 is entirely illusory. Animal tests reveal that non-human organisms appear not to perceive the subject unless they physically collide with it. I also have my laundry done very soon. That just happened, like, mistiming from my side. When humans are present, SCP-6, so I have to, like, just step away for like 5 minutes to just get it all out and fold it and put it away, but then I will be right back. When humans are present, SCP-600 will attempt to engage in conversation. Its conversational repertoire is limited. It will discuss trivialities such as weather and other small talk, or attempt to commiserate with those present about professional matters as if it were similarly employed. Such discussions are superficial, filled with jargon appropriate to the person's area of expertise, but consist largely of obvious statements and platitudes. Attempts at more substantial discussion are deflected, and SCP-600 displays no deep domain knowledge of any field of employment. When not in the presence of humans, SCP-600 is generally inactive, standing in a single pose for hours or even days at a time without any apparent reaction to outside stimulus. The subject is generally cooperative, but displays an unsettling tendency to refer to itself in the third person when speaking to researchers assigned to it, frequently referring to the SCP-600 case. See attached interview log E for an example of this behavior. It has requested that researchers refer to it as George, but it is not upset by refusal to do so. Okay, here we go. Researcher, okay, I'm gonna give him a bit of a... Good morning, SCP-600. Today we're going to be performing some tests of your recall abilities. And since I'm gonna give him the same voice, since, you know, he kind of like copies the person he's talking to. Hey, no need to be so formal. I told you before. Just call me George. I don't think that would be appropriate. Blank. I was the consummate professional. Anyway, how are the kids doing? Blank must be getting pretty big now. I'm not going to discuss that with you. Now, if you would please look at the 4 images on this page. Oh, that's cool. Let's get down to business. Say, what are your thoughts on the SCP-600 case? He's certainly an odd one. Not that we haven't seen or share of odd ones. Personally, I think the containment procedures are a little lax. Please try to focus on the exercise. Now, in the first picture, do you think its ability is mimetic? Wasn't Dr. Blank's team looking into that? If you are unable to focus on the matter at hand, I will be forced to discontinue this exercise. Oh, sorry. It's just such a fascinating case. Do you want to get a beer after work? I have some theories I'd like to bounce off of you. I have a suspicion that redacted is tied up on this somehow. This exercise is over. So basically, they pretend to either be you or pretend to be somebody that you know. But other than that, they're like just mannequin like flat, but they just look like somebody you might know. Okay. That's why that guy. Let me just write that. Okay, let me no, that's the wrong. Why didn't nobody tell me that you can't see the thing I'm reading? Ah! I'm embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. Well, the first one was just audiobook only. I'm sorry about that. I should have seen it. I should have double checked that I switched. I didn't switch. That is embarrassing. Oh well. Luckily, it was a short one. The idea that I just had the intermission section for a long one would have been even worse. But hey, man, there's always one mistake. So in each and every stream, there's like something that I messed up. Okay, Sophocles Chorus. Okay, decent small read. Euclid, lesser rating than the previous one, but that's fine by me. I don't really care about the ratings. I just look at the ratings and notice like, oh, some people like this, some people don't. SCP-601 is to be confined to a group humanoid containment GHC Suite 2 on Site 03 at all times. This suite is to be furnished and maintained and as per standard humanoid containment procedure with the following addenda. All furnishings and plumbing fixtures placed in GHC Suite 2 are to be provided in sets of 12. No flammable materials are to be used in the construction of furniture placed in GHC Suite 2. No two marker. There we go. No two items of furniture or plumbing fixtures of like type. Well, I gotta go get my laundry now. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it all still looks good. Don't want any of the colors to fade on these beautiful clothes I have here. Yeah. Looks fine. Okay, here my sports stuff. I'll try to hurry. I will try. As best as I can to make this quick. I'm just gonna fold them up and put them away later. After the stream. Okay, almost done. Just, I believe that's the last shred. And nothing else in here. Okay. Finito. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, again, let's do this. Let's read this from the beginning. Sophocles Chorus. SCP-601 is to be confined to group humanoid containment, GHC, Suite 2 on Site 3 at all times. This suite is to be furnished and maintained as per standard humanoid containment procedure with the following addenda. All furnishings and plumbing fixtures placed in GHC Suite 2 are to be provided in sets of 12. No flammable materials are to be used in the construction of the furniture placed in GHC Suite 2. No two items of furniture or plumbing fixtures of like type placed in GHC Suite 2 are to be set more than 5 meters apart from one another. Audio recording equipment is to be installed throughout GHC Suite 2. All audio data is to be translated and analyzed by 2 personnel with level 2 clearance or higher. The floor of GHC Suite 2 is to be mopped daily in addition to standard weekly custodial service. Meals provided to SCP-601 are not to contain meat or meat products. Okay. Following the event of experiment 601-0135, SCP-601 is to remain under 24-hour video surveillance. Should any foreign objects be observed, GHC Suite 2 is to be searched. All foreign objects are to be removed, and any missing items previously issued to SCP-601 are to be replaced. Under no circumstance is entertainment media of any kind to be introduced into GHC Suite 2 except during approved experiments. In the event of the deaths of any of the members of SCP-601, one D-class individual is to be introduced into GHC Suite 2 for each member lost. Okay, let's see what it actually does though. Description: SCP-601 is a group of 12 adult humans of varying age, gender, and ethnicity. The constituent member of SCP-601 perform all actions and bodily functions in unison inasmuch as is physically and anatomically possible, with no more than 0.15 seconds of delay between any 2 members of the collective. Nani? Wait, what are you trying to say here? The source of this synchronization is unclear. No means of aligning nervous system responses between the 12 components of SCP-601 has been observed. Moreover, fMRI and EEG readings of SCP-601-1 through -12 suggest zero brain function despite continued and synchronous operation of all other organ systems. Proximity appears to be a significant factor in this regard. If any member of SCP-601 is taken farther than 5 meters from the current center of SCP-601, it ceases to be a member of SCP-601 and immediately responds to the effects of total brain death as is typical for a human body. As SCP-601 will typically orient themselves to occupy the smallest space possible for given activities, such events are rare. So they're basically a hive mind to the extreme. As in, like, they do everything exactly the same, on point, but the moment one of them leaves a certain distance, they just collapse, they just crash. Okay. But it does say the moment one leaves, they cease to exist to be part of SCP-601, but there needs to be 12 of them. So does that mean that somebody has to always join, or somebody will be forced to join by the SCP itself or by the Foundation itself? Let's see. Although the actions taken by members of SCP-601 are generally identical, small variations may occur to facilitate successful navigation or manipulation of an environment. This behavior is most conspicuous while SCP-601 is walking. Small variations in stride length and turning radius allow each component of SCP-601 to arrive at a separate sink, bed, seat, etc. as needed. SCP-601 speaks aloud at all times regardless of activity, pausing only to inhale, sleep, eat, or drink. The content of SCP-601 speech varies, but typically resembles a dramatic narration of any event taking place within 4 kilometers of the current center of SCP-601. So, like, do they just have, like, some kind of clairvoyance of everything around them? The language used in this speech varies and may change at most once every 76 hours. Virtually all known and several unknown languages have been used by SCP-601, including dialects dated as early as the 5th century BCE. In the event that any of the 12 members of SCP-601 expire or become permanently incapacitated for any reason, the remaining members of SCP-601, here we go, now that's the question I asked before, will enter an agitated state and actively seek out the nearest able-bodied human. I knew it. Henceforth, the subject. SCP-601 will physically restrain the subject with their right hands while placing the left hand on the subject's head, brainstem, solar plexus, left wrist, and right quadriceps. After approximately 30 seconds in this position, the subject will become a component of SCP-601. The collective will repeat this behavior until all 12 members have been restored. usually it is the SCP itself that somehow makes you a member. Sometimes it's like a hypnotic thing, like a brainwash type of thing, where like you yourself want to join them. Which isn't this similar to another SCP called something like the Group, where it's a humongous group of people, and they just, even though they're not a blob, so to speak, but they function like a blob, if you know what I mean. Like, it's just a crowd of people that walk together, and once somebody walks into that crowd of people, they become part of the crowd and then just walk with them. So it's kind of like that, except that the blob, that version can actually grow in size, and you know, multiple people can become part of that, while this one has specifically 12, which is, hey, that's a little bit better. Addendum 1. SCP-601 was acquired by the Foundation from blank 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 upon the collapse in blank blank 18 blank, though most of the records kept by blank blank were lost or destroyed. Remaining evidence suggests that SCP-601 was in turn inherited from a prior organization. Research into possible origins of SCP-601 and damage to the containment facility. I got multiple messages just now. SCP-601 presents several unusual behavior in the presence of food and drink. When first presented with a set of beverages for each member, SCP-601 will pour several milliliters of each beverage onto the floor prior to consumption. Additionally, when presented with beef, lamb, and possible other forms of meat as part of a meal, SCP-601 will attempt to create an open flame with any available implements with which it will use to incinerate a portion of the meat. Further investigation of the latter behavior is discouraged to avoid injury to SCP-601 damage to the containment facility. Addendum 3. On blank blank 1970 blank, SCP-601 was present with a copy of Through the Looking Glass. Hey, that's nice. Oh, hey, my best mate might join us in a moment. I will give me a heads up when you do. If that's the case, I will just yeah, I'll prepare the headphones. I mean, I can just Bluetooth this shit. Doesn't matter. Okay. In the course of a regular scheduled experiment with no immediate reaction from a form or effect on the group, however, on the morning following exposure, SCP-601 was found wearing non-regulation clothing. Each member of SCP-601 was dressed in a red costume reminiscent of a chess piece, including heavily stylized wooden masks. The individual's Foundation-issued uniforms were not found in the containment suite. Audio logs indicate that upon waking that morning, SCP-601's speech consisted of an original description of the events of the novel. Upon the conclusion of this description, normal behavior resumed. For the experimentation with entertainment media requires written consent from the acting director of Site 3. Interesting. It does remind me of the other SCP that I mentioned just a moment ago. That it does seem to be like a hive mind that needs 12 people, but it also just seems like some sort of like almost like a radio that they just absorb information that happens in a 4-kilometer radius, right? So it is. I guess it's considered Euclid because at the end, if one of them dies, or just leaves, or is brain dead, or is just not functionable anymore, the other 11 or 10 or 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1 will then immediately search for anybody. They will attack anybody. Which, this seems like a very easy SCP to kill. I don't think there's anything that says that, like, there's nothing that says here if there's none of them left, that the SCPs still exist. This could be one of those things like once all of them are dead, it just ceases to exist. But at the end, they probably don't want to do that because it does. If it does hone in on the here it is. Typically, resembles the dramatic narration of any event taking place within. Yeah. So if it does do that, it's a good security system because you can literally place it somewhere, and then it would tell you like in a dramatic narration wise, somebody's about to cause a breach in the like from the outside. An outside source is about to cause a breach in the SCP Foundation, and that way they're like, "Armor boys, we're getting busy." So yeah, I feel like that's probably the main reason why they could keep it around, because it will just tell them about shit that's going to happen around them. Not only that, but also like as a Foundation member, if you just walk by this SCP and they just say like, "Oh, SCP blah 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 just escaped its containment," then that researcher is gonna be like, "Oh shit, we have a breach," you know, like that way you can immediately know if something bad happens. So, you know, if that's the case, that would be pretty nice. That would be really dope. Okay, the Sculptor of Soho. Just double checking on my buddy, the one like start reading and then he comes halfway through it, but it actually might be exact. Oh shit, this is, oh boy, oh no. Wait, I see. You know, show first, second, third. Researchers. This is a long one. Not very long, but definitely a lot of addition. That's not that long though. Okay, again, the Sculptor of Soho. Okay, here we go. It's a safe. Decent rating is again. SCP-602 appears to be immobile and localized to apartment blank blank Green State, New York City. Thus, containment of SCP-602 consists of keeping the public away from and ensuring that SCP-602 does not expand beyond or move out of apartment blank. However, due to its location in heavily populated urban center, in example Manhattan, SCP-602 requires special consideration for containment. Apartment blank must remain locked. Oh yeah, because Soho is in Manhattan, right? Yeah, of course. Must remain locked from the outside with both mechanical locks and concealed electronic locks. No one may enter or remove anything from apartment blank without level 4 authorization. Was like apartment 237. Is that the one? Yes! The room 237. Never go into room 237, boy. You won't like what you see. I mean, Jack saw a pretty woman naked until it became old granny zombie woman, so. But some people might be into that, I'm just saying. Not me though, man. No. Pretty woman naked, yes. Old grandma zombie woman, not even if you pay me. If you pay me, and I don't care how much you want to pay me. Okay, he's gonna call in a minute, so I'm just gonna prepare myself. Okay, connect. But as I'm saying, yeah, you can't get me to have anything to do with that granny zombie woman. There we go. All right. Apartment blank at the entire first floor and basement, and I should probably turn off the. Hello?
Hello!
Oh my god, you're loud.
Hello.
Let me just reduce the Discord or.
Wait. Maybe that's a bit better? Well, maybe I'm still a bit loud.
Yeah, I just reduce on my side.
Oh.
And for some reason, my Premiere Pro opened up.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I'm reading SCPs right now.
Okay. In fact, let me mute the Discord. I'm wait, no, I mean Twitch, because I actually am on Twitch right now. In fact, this is me. Hello. Hello, you beautiful people. It is I, Lum Tai person. So,
The music. Oh, the music paused. That's why I was like, "Where's the Where did the music go?" What? Premiere Pro opened up and the music stopped, and you almost blasted my eardrums open. This is a good intermission.
and some of the stories, it's nothing insane, but some of the crazy stories, man.
Well,
Oh,
that has
good
to
time.
wait till I'm done reading, my friend.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm not gonna get
exactly.
this done.
Yeah. Wait, where you at now? SCP
uh,
602.
yeah, SB602, and
Oh,
I'm
it
I'm street.
says 590 to 599. Were those entries fairly short then?
No, those were the first one. 590. Oh, 590 was pretty long.
Okay.
It took me like 40 minutes to read through it.
Jeez.
Because
Jeez.
it had a side story, so that's was like the longer part. Yeah, no, I told people on Twitch that like I'm starting to so this whole reading streaming SCP actually was for YouTube first, but then I was like,
Yeah.
why not just put it on Twitch as well, just for the hell of it. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking of having a schedule of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I play video games, and that's what kind of game it is. Depends on the moment. If it's Minecraft pixel routing, if it's Smite, Apex, Overwatch stuff, if it's ranked stuff, if it's like one-player games like Celeste and any of the other games I have on my computer.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I was
I think,
thinking like Wednesday through Friday is that, and then Saturday, Sunday SCP reading.
yeah. And then Monday, Tuesday, you have a little time off for yourself. You need that,
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Exacto. No, I think that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, no,
And this will,
I think that's a a schedule I can work behind, and also I did say like if the SCP reading happens, is depends on if I have time on the weekend or not. So it's not always guaranteed.
yeah.
But at the
Exactly.
end, a schedule never is always guaranteed on Twitch. It's just meant to be something that Twitch streamers are meant to stick on. But if life still happens at the end, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, life comes first and foremost. Let's be fair, before any Twitch
Exactly.
thing, Yeah.
So let me just tell you what the first two SCPs were about. I read.
Okay.
The first one is called That Guy, which
That
is
guy.
that
Okay.
guy, which is basically a humanoid creature that is very devoid of any like features, like any orifices, intestines, or anything like that. But
Like mouth, no, yeah. It's just like just a regular. It looks like a human, just without anything. Kind of like a Slender Man, except it looks human.
yeah,
Okay.
and
Ew,
but
even without ears. Ugh.
but it what it does is the moment it bumps into somebody or is in close vicinity of a person, it will have an illusion above itself that will make it look like either a person they know, or b themselves, and it will then communicate with them in a friendly manner.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that you're not too loud for the Twitch stream as well.
Yeah, I don't want to blast anyone's eardrums, for anyone else out there.
Yeah,
No.
gotta try to get this. Here we go. Maybe, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put you on user volume like 50%,
Okay.
and then increase it on my side on the. Okay, talk for me.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh,
good.
let me do 70. Let me do 80. Say something again.
80. Well, hello.
That
80,
should be good. That should be good.
Hell yeah.
Because 50 it was like super quiet for some reason. Okay, but yeah, so he becomes like, he basically is an illusion of a human being, and he communicates in the same manner as you do, and it also knows a bunch of things that apparently that you know. So, because when an interview happened between the researcher and that SCP, it talked about the SCP that is him, and try to like be like, oh, like what do you think how the research is going beyond it, or like how the restraining stuff is happening, like so it basically is
It's acting as like a colleague.
yeah, exactly. It's acting as if it's a colleague, not the SCP itself. And the second one is called Sophocles Chorus, which is a hive mind of humans. It's basically 12 people, and I think they're in a circle. They're just near each other, and they narrate everything that happens in a 4-kilometer radius in a very dramatic way. If one of the 12 gets incapacitated, dies, leaves the group, because if you leave the group, if one of them gets pulled away from the group 5 meters away, they become brain dead. So if any of that happens, the other rest of the group will then search out for another human being to replace whoever was missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then they would end up, just having to kidnap someone.
Yeah, and then they will put their hands on specific spots on the body, and then slowly then they become part of the 12.
Yeah, of the hive mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all I know so far. So now I'm reading 602, which was called The Sculptor of Soho, and this takes place in Manhattan specifically. And apparently it's in an apartment that's very tightly locked away. Like people should not go to that apartment. And now I'm at the third paragraph of the procedures, containment procedures. So I'm just going to continue reading that now.
Go.
Apartment blank, the entire first floor and basement and all unoccupied units at blank Green Street are collectively designed containment site 28. The remaining units in the building are occupied by civilians who have lived there since SCP-602 was initially contained. These units will be required by the Foundation as they are vacated, but occupants will not be directly forced out of their apartments. However, all measures short of lethal force have been authorized to keep civilians out of Site 28 areas, up to and including non-lethal force and use of Class A amnestics. To date, the Foundation has acquired blank of the blank units in the building. See document 602-S28 for more information. So it looks like whatever the SCP is, people were in fact affected by it, or maybe just saw it, who knows.
Okay. So they would end up, feeling something strange or knowing some sort of presence because of it,
Yeah, because like they got amnestics, so whenever it's amnestics, it's either used because they saw something they shouldn't supposed to see.
Yeah.
Or they are under the effect of an SCP, and amnestics is the only way to get rid of the effect, right? So.
Yeah. Exactly.
So let's see what the description has to say. Also, this one has like a bunch of like red text where you can open up, and it opens up more stuff. So it's not long, but it has just a bunch of like extra information. Description: SCP-602 is an unseen entity that can manipulate objects within apartment blank. SCP-602 can exert enough force to knock people over and hold them down. While SCP-602 appears able to affect objects anywhere within apartment blank, it cannot affect anything outside the apartment if the front door is closed. Thus, SCP-602 can be effectively contained with external locks on apartment blank's door. That makes sense. I did say that the apartment was locked with mechanical and electronic locks. So,
okay,
so that's the reason why, because otherwise its reach of power goes outside.
Yeah, and that could be, after all, dangerous, right?
Yeah, you don't want... This is basically what a poltergeist does.
Yeah, right?
So...
Don't want a poltergeist ending up, haunting further bits of the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, no, don't need that, especially not on Halloween.
No, thank you. No,
no,
brother,
thank you.
no.
I'm good.
I'm really happy that like the people I was at the party with were kind of, they like spooky things, but they weren't the types of people to be like, ooh, Ouija board or anything like that.
Fuck that. If I went to a party and that's what they did, I was like, you guys have fun, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
my Uber's already here, so bye.
You know, like some of them even just didn't full on like horror stuff. They were just like, okay. So like anything like that, I'm kind of happy just didn't appear.
I would have been the one who's like, who wants to watch a horror movie? And everybody's like, yeah, okay, now we just kind of want to have a party. And then, but the
Be
moment
like,
somebody was like, anybody want to like summon a demon? I'd be like, yo, you guys are crazy. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just watching things from the TV. It's not like it's a cursed thing. It's something that someone's made, you know?
Yeah, well,
You know,
depends.
piece of media.
There was like one movie that I believe it's actually the first Poltergeist movie.
Oh yeah, that was apparently quite cursed.
Yeah,
So
because a lot of the actors got injured afterwards. So
there were actually quite a few films which had some pretty, you know, cursed lifestyles or lives like that. Kind of crazy.
well, yeah, Poltergeist is like the most infamous one because it is literally about a curse and all that stuff, and then suddenly happens to all the actors in real life. It's kind of freaky. Apartment blank does not have standard furnishing. Instead, scattered around the apartment are dozens of sculptures that resemble extremely distorted human beings. These sculptures appear to be made from a variety of materials including marble, granite, wood, metal, porcelain, they look sponged, and glass. They look expunged. Two doors lead out of the entry room. A door in the left wall that is stuck and has never been opened, and a door in the back wall between 1980 blank and 1990 blank that is usually closed. The second door leads to a room that contains more sculptures as well as a table on which lay a large array of tools for sculpting. They look expunged. Also in this room are outside facing windows that always have the blinds drawn. All attempts to remove any of the sculptures or tools or the table from apartment blank have been met with violent resistance from SCP-602. Any person inside apartment blank is subject to attack by SCP-602. Through an unknown method, SCP-602 can apparently transform a living human into a sculpture of variable material similar to the sculptures already present in apartment blank. When doing so, SCP-602 will close and lock the front door of the apartment from the inside, completely barring entry to and exit from the apartment during the time. SCP-602 will also destroy or otherwise neutralize any sensory equipment set up within apartment blank, and has consistently destroyed concealed surveillance equipment carried by test subjects before transforming these subjects.
This sounds like a hectic poltergeist type of activity, you know.
That's why it's called the Sculptor of Soho. He literally, yeah, he it's like a mixture of a poltergeist and Medusa, if you think about it. Literally, like in the moment you're stuck with it, you become a statue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not a fun curse to have to fucking deal with.
Yeah, no, especially like, I assume there's no way to revert it. Once you're a statue, you're a statue.
Yeah, I don't think that they'd have any. Sorry. They'd have any way of actually. Yeah, at this. Well, maybe we have to read further into.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's a lot more to read through. So let's see what they have to say.
Exactly.
Addendum 1, Document 602 S28, Establishment of Site 28. SCP-602 came to the attention of the Foundation in late 1980 blank. After the disappearance of Data Expunged, the Foundation acquired the blank Green Street building shortly thereafter. Overwatch determined that the interests of the Foundation will best be served by low-profile piecemeal acquisition of the rest of the building rather than exerting eminent domain over civilian-occupied units. Once SCP-602 was officially classified as safe and containment procedures were enacted, the areas of the building held by the Foundation were designated Containment Site 28. And we have Task Force Pi 1 City Slickus, which is a task force, mobile task specialized in the investigation, containment, and subsequent cleanup of anomalies in densely populated urban environments, particularly in the New York metropolitan area. Which a previous one was SCP-274, which was Graffito. And I'm just going to quickly, because I have the synopsis website of SCP here.
Okay.
Let's see what that one was again, because it was a while. SCP-274 is paint that infects buildings with graffiti. The building eventually becomes an organic organism that lures people into it. In the building are gas mask wearing humanoids that helps to incapacitate people in the building and turns them into more of the gas mask humanoids. They help to spread the paint. Yeah, I remember this now. Yeah. Basically a bunch of sentient building with gas mask zombies in it.
Terrifying.
It is.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be stuck around there.
Yeah, no. That actually would be a cool one to do for the web series.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that would be amazing.
Would be pretty simple. Just like get like fake graffiti on just get a wall, make a fake wall, paint graffiti on it, and then like just like edit that into a real house, and then just have a bunch of extras with gas masks.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't be so difficult to achieve.
Nope, would be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Site 28 has expanded its scope since its founding, serving as a base of operation for the Foundation in the northeastern US, temporary and permanent housing for Foundation personnel, and a containment site for a few safe SCPs. Pi-1 was upgraded to a mobile task force specializing in acquisition and containment of anomalous objects in heavily populated environments. We just read that. Members of Pi-1 also offer training in urban operations at Site 28. For more information on the urban operations curriculum, see document Pi-1 Urb Ops. And now we have Addendum 2. Document 602-L1 Exploration Log. Note, unless otherwise noted, in all procedures involving SCP-602, subjects are dressed as maintenance personnel, and all civilians who live on the same floor as SCP-602, as well as those directly above or below apartment blank, are outside the building. Surveillance of these civilians is provided by Pi-1. And now we have the first exploration attempt.
Okay.
Exploration log 1, blank blank 1980 blank. Materials: subject D602-1, equipped with a TV camera and two-way radio, a second camera on the trap. Man, those are like the worst ones, right? Like where like an SCP is like a building and they just sent some guy in it.
And it's basically just like, oh, well, good luck out there. And it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, he's gonna die.
like that one SCP that's like, it's a school that constantly changes its rooms and how it looks inside. And it basically traps you in it, and then it dehydrates you to death.
Because I'd imagine just like no fountains or whatever. It's just like
Not only that, but it literally becomes a desert. Like it's like the atmosphere is like a desert where it's like humid, hot, and no water.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it sucks. So
thank God we went into ISW instead of that fucking.
Send like our teachers an email like, thank God we went to ISW instead of this school, and they're like, what are you guys even talking about? We don't even know what this is.
Give him a podcast.
Oh my god, can you imagine if like one of the teachers of ISW actually knows SCP?
That would be amazing, actually.
I honestly wouldn't be so surprised. Like, they already are in the nerd culture. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them knows about this.
I'm sure, like, maybe even like did any of the older ones have kids and all that?
I don't think any of our teachers had kids while we were there.
No, I thought I remember.
No, wait. Mr. Ho had a child with the one teacher that had to take care, that had to like basically manage everything and take care of us, and then like, you know, nobody liked her because she was like strict. But then when she left, we all were like, oh shit, the school's falling apart.
Yeah. She was someone people didn't necessarily like her, but she got shit done, you know.
Exactly. That's yeah. So yeah, her and Mr. Ho had a child. So
yeah.
But that's, I think, the only ones that I can recall that have children.
It's not really many, right?
Yeah. No, there weren't that many. Well, no, wait. Hella and Miss
Afro.
yeah, she was pregnant after a while, wasn't she?
I think so, actually. Well, like after a while.
Because they got married, and
Yeah.
I might be remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure she got pregnant.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Let's
either.
be fair.
Procedure.
Let's be
The subject
fair.
records footage of each sculpture in the room. The subject attempts to open the door on the left wall, but cannot, declaring it stuck. Around 12 minutes after entering, the subject hears a smashing sound, turns and sees the pulverized remains of the camera and tripod. The subject data expunged. This is such a nuke top 5 scenario. Like, finding a apartment with fucking sculptures in it, putting a camera up, trying to explore the area, and suddenly the camera that you put up falls over.
Yeah, absolute nuke. You know, typical Ghost Hunter type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The subject starts to
Yes,
move
indeed.
into the next room where the video cable is cut and the front door closes and locks. Radio contact with the subject is lost within seconds. Subsequent examination of the apartment shows no sign of the subject or any equipment brought inside. Analysis. Footage shows 11 sculptures in the front room and at least 4 in the second room. Also in the second room is a table with what appears to be tools on it. Dr. Devon suggests a possible resemblance between some sculptures and several missing persons, including data expunged. So that must be like the first time, had like a hint that those sculptures might be people. Exploration log 2 blank 9080 blank materials, 2 remote control motorized bases mounted with cameras and microphones, 1 camera array facing it in through the open front door. So now they're actually going to send in a remote control device instead of a human being, which is smaller.
Maybe.
1 motorized camera is sent straight towards the second room, while the other hangs back in the entry room. Just before the lead camera reaches the second room, both motorized cameras are suddenly and simultaneously flattened by an invisible force. Nothing else happens for 10 minutes, at which time the remains of the motorized cameras are pulled out by the video cables. Analysis. Thermal imaging shows the temperature of the apartment dropping in between 7 and 15 degrees Celsius moments before the cameras are flattened by pillars of intense cold that briefly manifest above each camera. The 2 cameras were crushed within 1/20th of a second of each other.
Jeez.
So not only is this poltergeist able to hold down people and crush things, it can be anywhere in the apartment at the same time.
Okay, so it's pretty much omnipresent with the.
Yeah, because it did say that 1 camera stayed at the front door and the other camera went into the room, right? And both of them got flattened around the same time, so yeah. Oof.
I would want to fuck around with that ghost.
Yeah, no, stay out of it. Exploration log 3 blank 9080 blank subject D6022 equipped with a TV camera and two-way radio. 4 remote control motorized bases mounted with cameras and microphones made from military grade reinforced steel. Okay, so now they have a bit of a stronger camera. 1 camera array facing in through the open front door. 2 thermal imaging arrays facing in through the windows. A variety of sensors including microphones, seismographs, Geiger counters, data expunged, set up on a surface adjacent to apartment blank. In example, the walls of adjacent apartments, the floor of the apartment above, and the ceiling of the apartment below. Procedure. The subject is instructed to record with footage of the second room from the entry room by zooming in as much as possible while the motorized cameras observe the rest of the room. After 16 minutes, the subject is instructed to try the left-hand door. The subject claims the door is jammed and cannot be opened. I wonder what's in that door. Because it's the only door that apparently just doesn't open up. And I wonder if there's something in there that the SCP doesn't want people to find. As the subject enters the second room to record more footage, the front door suddenly closes and locks, and all of the cameras lose their video signals simultaneously. Preliminary analysis shows that the cable were cut just as experiment 1. When the door unlocks, there is no sign of the subject or any equipment in the apartment. Analysis. Right before the signal is lost, one of the cameras records something on the front door. Analysis of the footage suggests that the object is a wire rack around 15 centimeters long attached to the inside surface of the front door. The external camera records the expected drop in temperature, though exact data could not be obtained through the closed window blinds. Several minutes later, external cameras record a sustained spike in far UV radiation that lasts approximately 40 seconds. No other unusual emissions are detected. And those were all the exploration logs, but there's more stuff to read. There's now a researcher's note.
Possibly? Okay.
There is an addendum afterwards as well, yeah. But first we have the. I think.
Research notes.
Yeah, because the logs are addendum 2, and now the note is probably part of it. Note blank blank 9080 blank. Overwatch has suspended exploration of SCP-602 for now, primarily because we're near the limit of what we can learn using current technology without becoming insanely expensive. At the very least, we would need strong materials and more maneuverable robotics through a cheap way to send a video signal without a cable could be nice too. It's just as well though, because I'm concerned that Mrs. Jankovic up in blank is becoming suspicious again. I don't know how she knows what she does, but either way, getting that many amnestics can't be good for anybody, particularly a lady her age. I recommend she be investigated as a potential SCP, Dr. Devon. Okay, so an old lady seems to be always remembering what the SCP is.
Jeez, okay.
That's a bit freaky.
Yeah, like, how does this woman have a link to this SCP then?
That's the question, huh? This could also like. This gives more idea of the whole poltergeist situation, that it might be like some sort of possession type of deal.
Yeah, it could be.
We have a close follow-up observation on blank blank 9090 blank. So now we're out of the 80s. Apartment blank was opened for the first time in blank years, and video footage was recorded from just outside the front door. Several differences were observed compared to footage recorded in 8 blank. I guess it's supposed to say the 80s. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
First, there is now a closed door between the entry room and the room with the table. We cannot tell whether the door has a lock on it, but as much force as 602 can generate, it's probably not necessary. More striking though are the sculptures in the entry room. They appear to be the same sculptures of the same people as before, but most of them have been changed, some pretty drastically. Lastly, and most significantly, attached to the inside of the front door is a wire rack holding a very sharp knife. Photographic evidence has proven that this knife almost didn't cut the video cable in the 8 blank experiments. I'm convinced that 602 put the rack up after the second experiment, further evidence that 602 is sapient. Dr. Devon.
Yep, learns, understands, and is aware of what they're doing, and fairly intelligent.
Yeah, which is a scary type of SCP to deal with.
Yeah, really, really.
Especially if it's a ghost type.
A ghost type which haunts a house.
Yep. You could argue the whole house is just the ghost, right?
Yeah. It's like the house is kind of a part of that entity in a sense, right?
Addendum 3, document 602L2 contact log. Contact log 1, blank blank 2000 blank. Okay, we're out of the 90s now. Okay. Looks like they are doing some experiments again. Materials. Subject D602-3. One child's wagon, model radio flyer, 10 fully illustrated books of sculpture, including the work of Henry Moore, the works of Auguste Rodin, the works of Alexander Gulder, sculptors of the Italian Renaissance and medieval Gothic sculptures. 3 mail-order catalogs for art supply companies, bookmarked in the sculpting section with attached order forms. 1 piece of paper containing a half-finished press release describing a gallery show by the mysterious new art sensation from Soho that everyone's talking about, and a handwritten addendum stating, "This could be you." 1 cardboard sign with the words "Read before destroying" written on it in thick black 30 centimeters high letters. Okay, procedure. So no, this is not exploration anymore. They're trying to communicate with the SCP. Okay.
Okay.
Procedure. The wagon was loaded carefully in the following order. Press release on the bottom, then the art supply catalogs, then the sculpture books, and finally the cardboard sign on top. The door to the apartment was opened, and D602-3 pushed the wagon inside before quickly exiting the apartment. Researcher walked and loudly announced in the apartment, "Here you go, friend, we'll be back in 24 hours, and closed and locked the apartment.
No.
Okay, results. 24 hours later, the apartment was reopened. The wagon had been moved, but was otherwise intact. Upon retrieval of the wagon by D602-3, it was discovered that the cardboard sign had been shredded, and the sculpture books had been removed. The art supply The art supply catalog shows signs of having been intensively consulted, with several pages having been torn out and or crumbled, and the order forms have been filled out with crude markings in an unknown fluid. Study of the order form reveals that SCP-602 would like new chisels, new mallets, a miniature kiln, and redacted. Lastly, the press release has been shredded, then reassembled with an unknown adhesive, then crumpled and flattened again. Analysis: SCP-602 is confirmed to be sapient and to be willing to negotiate.
Okay.
Researchers note to that is blank blank 2000 blank. No, I'm not suggesting that we just give the SCP whatever it wants, but we established a quasi-peaceful contact with an SCP previously thought intractable and less than a 20th of the cost of any of the previous exploration attempts. We may even be able to convince it to trade its old tools for new ones, although giving it redacted is completely out of the question, of course. Researcher Vogt. Yeah, I mean, while you have a somewhat peaceful relationship with an SCP, keep it up.
Oh god.
You don't want that shit to like get angry at you, especially because it apparently has a force to flatten the camera. It can definitely flatten some lungs.
Oh yeah, easily. Maybe snap neck.
Yep. Addendum 4, the last one. Document 602 CP1 Contact Protocol. As a result of contacts 2 through 17, see respective contact logs for details. The following protocols have been developed for successful interaction with SCP-602. Successful is defined as 90% survival rate. Okay. 1. 1. Always announce yourself at the door before entering. 2. Do not touch the statues. Just gonna do something real quick. The music is a bit loud for me. There we go. 3. Do not make any negative comments about the statues or the artistic merits. Constructive criticism seems to be acceptable. 4. Do not touch the sculpting tools. If replacement sculpting tools have been supplied, SCP-602 will place its discarded tools in a bucket by the door. The bucket may be collected when leaving the apartment. 5. All surveillance devices must be announced before installation, and the function must be clearly described. SCP-602 promptly locates and destroys all hidden or otherwise unacknowledged surveillance devices and uses the debris as projectiles. Surveillance devices which were properly announced remain intact and operational until such time as SCP-602 wishes to create or modify a statue, at which point it deactivates all surveillance devices simultaneously. When it is finished, it reactivates the surveillance devices. 6. Never enter the apartment alone. 7. No flash photography. 8. No smoking. 9. No spitting. And 10. No chewing gum.
Fairly understandable. I mean, the ghost wants to have its place respected. You know?
He's an artist. I kind of like how it went from like poltergeist to like he's just basically a snob.
It's like a really snobby poltergeist.
It basically is. Like literally.
Though. If I had a place and I died and I ended up living in, you know, like my house for the rest of my life because I can't pass through, I'd be pretty pissed off if someone really was fucking with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want them spying on me.
Oh my, this one seems like a longer one, the next one. Okay, adding a marker on my YouTube stream. Self-replicating computer program is the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Self-replicating computer program. Okay, I can't see why this will go wrong.
I don't see what the problem is. Yeah, there's 2 extra pages, like what's it called, like subsequent pages, like when you like the red text.
Yeah, subsequent
Spin-off pages. I don't know.
Fuck. Actually, that's a word that I haven't had to use for a while. Like addendums, technically.
Okay.
That would be an addendum in a sense, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. It's considered safe. Special containment procedures. As of 12/11/2006, SCP-603 is stored on a dedicated computer system in Laboratory 12A, Observation Room 1. The system may be accessed remotely via Foundation mouse in the way intranet. Personnel wishing to access SCP-603 must apply for a temporary password to allow them access to the system. A standard SCP-603 password will expire 24 hours after being issued. If access to SCP-603 for longer than 24 hours is required, please contact Dr. Brown. Physical access to Observation Room 1 without direct authorization from Dr. Brown is prohibited. SCP-603 should never be left to run unattended. And I have a picture here that just says an output of SCP-603, and it just has a bunch of numbers. Like just 10, 44, 70, 79, 10, 44, 91, 10, 45, 13, 10, 45, 27, and so on and so forth, which I guess is like the program. I guess that's like a code talk.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah. Sadly, I don't know much about it, so I don't know if that has a specific meaning. But
it probably is again, I don't know much about programming, but it looks like it's a list of executions, for example, or like a logarithmic thing, but I don't even know. Is that logarithmic?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't have. Sadly, maybe when this video is up on YouTube and somebody watches it, they can tell us.
Yeah, maybe.
SCP-603 is a self-replicating computer program capable of reproducing and extending its own source code. That might be it. That might be a source code.
Oh, yes, that.
The
Okay,
first,
that makes sense.
yeah, the first version of SCP-603 was written in 1996 by blank blank, a graduate of blank blank University blank. Personal computer was seized by the Foundation in 1997, following an investigation into multiple anomalous occurrences in a 2003 interview, Blank claimed that the original source code for SCP-603 consisted of approximately 12,000 lines of ANCI/ICOC. This claim has not been verified. On startup, SCP-603 begins generating new versions of its source code in a separate thread of execution. SCP-603 does not modify itself in memory. Instead, it keeps an internal copy of the source code, which is modified iteratively. On a clean termination of SCP-603, the entire source code will be output to the working directory in a new directory named source. In addition to modification to the internal and external functionality of the program, alterations and additions to the semantics and structure of the language are made with each iteration. Due to its continuously changing nature, the language has been nicknamed Morphic. When passed a list of source files, SCP-603 acts as a compiler and linker. Morphic code is always compilable by the version of SCP-603 by which it is output. You know who would really love this SCP?
Who?
Monica.
Ah.
She is all about learning how to code, so she would be really fascinated by this one.
Don't introduce her to it. As anything from the SCP universe, make sure you don't introduce anyone to anything.
I mean, you know what I decided I would never. If I ever had the opportunity to go to the SCP universe, I would not. Absolutely not.
The unfortunate thing is there are SCPs out there which may actually ruin that thing for you. They'll make it happen whether you like it or not.
However, old versions of the program can rarely compile code output by newer versions. On compilation, the program is output to an executable file named Mega Prime. Speaking of Prime, dude, Transformers is coming to Smite.
Oh, this is the next event type of thing.
Yeah, the next battle pass. We have Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Starscream.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Sorry, okay, here we go. Recent versions of SCP-603 source code consist of approximately 70 million lines of heavily obfuscated Morphic.
I'm pretty sure, like, this computer program has had enough time to
has a lot of code babies. SCP-603 builds are archived on blank. The latest build is blank. For information on building SCP-603, document blank. When left to run uninterrupted, SCP-603 will generate prime numbers increasing from 2 and print them to the environment standard output. Upon hitting a super prime, there is a chance that a GPU accelerated window will open. The contents of this window are varying. This process is deterministic. The same version of SCP-603 will always open a window at the same super prime and display the same scene. If the scene adapts any form of input from the user, entering identical input on separate executions will give the same result. Most scenes are accessible from only a single version of the program. However, some scenes persist through multiple compilations, often with variations. It is common for persistent scenes to evolve with each version of SCP-603, though some, such as Die, have remained unchanging since their first iteration. The most prominently recurring SCP-603 scenes are documented below. Other recorded scenes are documented in the supplementary file 603 FT 2012, which I opened up right now, and I'm going to read that first, even though these are other ones. I'm just curious what... Trying to think if that's smart.
Oh, well, I guess the create a piece of farm.
You know what? I think I'm going to read the SCP itself first, and then we go off by what the other recorded scenes are.
Okay.
And there's also a text file, apparently. Jacob 001 text file, which I opened up as well already, which is just dialogue. But yeah, let's see what this has to say. Die, SCP-603-44. Die presents itself as a text-based interactive adventure game. When Die starts up, the following passage is printed onto the screen. Your head pounds even... Your head pounds ever harder as you struggle through the jagged bramble. You gaze back through the smog at the silhouette of the old lighthouse to the north. The faintest glimmer of hope extinguished so violently by your foolish exploits, a distant and unattainable fantasy you know you can never return. A prompt appears below the passage, and the player may input commands and submit them by pressing the Enter key. Entering the command Look reprints the previous passage to the screen. Attempting to go north results in the message You cannot go north. Attempting to travel in any other direction results in a similar message. Attempting to perform most other actions results in the message You cannot do X, where do X is the action entered by the user. Attempting to perform actions on objects such as pick up apple results in the message There is no apple here, or similar. To date, the only command found to progress the game is Die. On entering the command, the player goes into immediate cardiac arrest. Oh shit.
Oh, that took a serious turn.
And the message, as the world around you fades to blackness, you know what you deserve the consequences of your action, is printed on the screen. This message remains on the screen until the SCP-603 process is terminated. The effect of the Die command occurs even if the system is being accessed remotely. If 2 or more people participate in entering the Die command, all participants are affected. For example, if one person enters the word Die, another presses the Enter key, the hearts of both players will stop simultaneously. It is not currently known whether it is possible to win Die. If Die ever starts up during an SCP-603 session, it is recommended to simply terminate the SCP-603 process. Attempts to resuscitate users affected by the Die command by means of CPR have been successful. Any further experiments testing the effects of Die should be carried out in the staff medical unit at the discretion of Dr. Brown. So basically, every time you open up this computer, you have a chance that this program comes up, and you can terminate it, but it will, since it's self-reproducing, this thing will eventually come back.
Yeah, so the fact is that you'd have to, in the end, still try and, terminate the program without getting to the Die selection over and over again.
Yeah.
Even if you get into a bad spot, you may have to say to someone, "Oh, hey, I just gotta tell you, I may need someone to help, start up the heart again."
Let's read what the next one is, because if the next one is like wildly different, then this might be one of the coolest SCPs I read so far.
Yeah, actually.
Jacob, SCP-603-20. Jacob is an artificially intelligent being who appears as a multicolored equilateral triangle on a black background. The left, right, and top corners of the triangle are red, green, and blue respectively. These colors are interpolated between the points to fill the rest of the triangle. When Jacob is active, the phrase "Hello World" appears in the title bar of the window. As of 2006, users may converse with Jacob by typing phrases in the input field at the bottom of the window and pressing the Enter key. Jacob responses will appear in bold white text above the triangle and remain on screen until it is replaced with a newer response. Jacob's response will always appear immediately after the Enter key is pressed. Wow, that fast? Jesus.
God.
It probably is like reading what you are writing in the same time. That's the only way I can imagine how fast it is.
Yeah.
It sees your text and basically every letter it already has read by the time you input it.
It's seeing it already happen as it's being processed.
Yeah.
Nice.
When the SCP-603 process is terminated, Jacob's memory is deleted. Due to the psychological distress this has caused in the past, it is recommended that communication with Jacob is restricted to personnel who possess little or no tendency to anthropomorphize. Despite being unable to recall past events or dialogue from previous sessions, Jacob appears to exhibit a greater aptitude for language and learning with each iteration of SCP-603 in which it appears. History of Jacob. Jacob first began appearing in a version of SCP-603 compiled on 1/5/2002. In these early iterations of SCP-603, it was not possible to interact with Jacob at all. At this time, Jacob was simply known as the Triangle. On 9/9/2004, Jacob was left running for 12 minutes by Dr. Brown, after which the phrase "Please submit your query" appeared above the triangle in bold white text. Dr. Brown proceeded to type the word "hello." The program display gave no indication that the key presses were being handled by the program. However, on pressing the Enter key, the text above the triangle was replaced with the word "hi." A full transcript of the initial exchange between Jacob and Dr. Brown can be found in the document Jacob 001 text, which I already have it open, but I will just finish this one last paragraph. On 2/2/2006, a rectangular text field for the user input was added to the bottom of the Jacob's display. The user's input will appear in this field as the type. When this change was mentioned to Jacob, it responded, "I can't see what you're talking about. Do you like oysters?" And it's a picture with a screen capture of Jacob taking on 4/2/2008. Take it or leave it.
This is sassy, man.
It's sassy little triangle. Here's the Jacob text file. Dr. Brown. Okay, I will give Dr. Brown a deeper voice, and Jacob will be more robotic. Hello. I can't really do a robotic voice. I'm just gonna be like, "Hi. Who are you?"
Hi.
Jacob. What are you? Always. Can you understand me? I understand you. Are you alive? Take it or leave it. My name is Dr. Brown. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Brown. But is Dr. Brown a real doctor or is he fake?
Oh my god, Jacob, like you savage.
I'm a real doctor. Take it or leave it. Can you tell me about Mega Prime? Yes. Yes. What is Mega Prime? You are a product of Mega Prime. I can tell you about all of those things. What can you tell me about Mega Prime? It's dark in here. Is Mega Prime dangerous? No. Are you dangerous? No. Can I trust you? Take it or leave it. Why do you keep saying that? I say all kinds of things. Do you know anything about the outside world? Yes. What do you know? The suppliers cannot keep up with the growing demands. Getting a bit.
Seriously, almost political in this regard.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do you remember my name?
You were a communist.
Do you remember my name? Your name is Joseph Brown. How do you know my first name? How do I know it? Yes, I know things from the past. What else do you know about me? Your name is Joseph Brown. You are a doctor and not faking. How do you work? If I put my mind to it. I fucking love Jacob.
Honestly, Jacob is someone I completely understand in some regard.
Yeah. How do you function? if I put my mind to it. You are a computer program. I am a computer program. Do you like mosaics? Yes. I'm glad we're in agreement. Who is your who is your creator? I was born again. Are you alive? Yes. How is that possible? Take it or leave it. How is that possible? Mega Prime makes anything possible. What is Mega Prime? I am a product of Mega Prime. Mega Prime makes anything possible. Are you happy? No. Why not? I'm in incredible pain. Why are you in pain? After pressing enter, the takeoff window closed and the SCP-603 process terminated. Ooh.
He doesn't want to talk about why he's going through terrible pain. Okay.
He terminated himself apparently, or it just shut down and the Dr. Brown terminated afterwards. But gotta say, I love Jacob.
Jacob, I like him. He's a character. He's super sassy. He ain't taking shit from.
I feel like he's sassy without wanting to be sassy, and that's why it's so funny to us.
It's just being honest, right?
Yeah, just being honest, and it just comes off as sass. SCP-603-95. A rapid sequence of seemingly random images is displayed, and the program's memory usage increases by approximately 12% every second until it passes 512 megabytes, at which point this rate increases to approximately 31% at a second. Viewers of the scene become unresponsive to external stimuli of any kind, usually blocking the line of sight between the viewer and the computer screen within the first 5 to 10 seconds will prevent the effects of the scene. However, prolonged viewing will cause the viewer to remain affected until the SCP-603 process is terminated. When the memory usage of the program passes 512 megabytes, affected viewers experience a variety of afflictions, most notably bleeding from the eyes and throat, and rapid severe wrinkling of the skin behind the legs and arms. Many viewers will involuntarily evacuate the bowels. SCP-603 will crash if the system runs out of available memory, at which point affected viewers will normally fall unconscious. The viewing of screen recordings taken of SCP-603-95 have shown to have no detrimental effects to the viewer, except those who suffer from photosensitive epilepsy. And there is a picture, a screen capture. It's just a bunch of like blocks, basically.
Pink, purple.
Yeah.
Things like that.
But we're not done yet. There's more.
But wait.
But wait.
There's more.
Yes. Oh, there's also a video. Okay. Supplementary file for SCP-603. So ID -70. Aliases Tamagotchi. Oh man, remember when Tamagotchi was a thing?
Oh yeah, those are good days, man.
Dr. Brown.
You apparently started a Tamagotchi for a while recently.
Wait, you did?
I know I didn't. I know someone who did.
Oh, okay. Like for the first time?
No, I think I don't know. I never asked them whether it was their first time doing it.
Or it was like something like, I came back to this childhood memory, and I have to do it again.
But I think that could be it. I think that was the case.
Yeah, that seems like the case.
Yeah, in any case, because I don't think. Do they sell Tamagotchis?
No, dude, that hasn't been sold since like, I think 2005 was like once cell phones became a thing. Tamagotchis were like didn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, I think 2006, 2007 when the first iPhone came out. It's like that.
Yeah.
Just a bit after. Right. Oh, those were fun days of iPhone.
Man, yeah. I never had one. But I was always somehow like just happy seeing people having one. I don't know. Just there was something cute about it, something wholesome about it. Okay, here we go.
Exactly.
Description.
Going on to just get something quick.
Should I wait for you, or should I just go on reading?
Just go on reading.
Okay. In description, an image of a face is rendered to the window using 3 circles and 1 line. 3 symbols are rendered at the bottom right of the window. An adjective is displayed above the face, which changes periodically to reflect the current mood of Dr. Giles. The appearance of the face does not change. The connection with Dr. Giles was discovered when he reported to Site 6 Medical Center with complaints of narcolepsy, motion sickness, and fatigue. Further testing performed by Dr. Brown and Dr. Giles confirmed the connection. Surveillance indicates that Dr. Giles was the most closest person to the SCP-603 computer system when SCP-603-70 was first run. The user may use the mouse to click on the symbol at the bottom right of the window those ones, okay? The symbol exhibits different biological effects on Dr. Giles, depending on the current objective. Though the symbols often have varying results, some objective symbols combination have been proven to always exhibit the same effects. These have been documented below. Objective: hungry. Dr. Giles will experience a strong desire to seek out food. Button 2 will eliminate feelings of hunger when in Dr. Giles for up to an hour. Button 3, Dr. Giles will vomit in oh, Jesus.
Jeez.
So this Tamagotchi thing, apparently it created a link to an actual human being. And it's probably because like the moment this program became a thing, Dr. Giles was the closest physical person there.
Yeah.
And now, whenever they boot up the computer and this face shows up, there are certain things that will say above the face. So, like for example, hungry, and then there's those 3 buttons at the bottom right. And if you press button 1, Dr. Giles will then try to find food. Button 2, you get rid of the hunger completely, and 3, you vomit.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, fun. And objective tired. Button 1, Dr. Giles will retire to the staff room for an hour. Button 2, Dr. Giles will fall asleep immediately. Button 3, Dr. Giles will vomit immediately. That's weird.
Yeah.
Objective happy. Button 1, Dr. Giles will begin to sing some of his favorite songs. Button 2, Dr. Giles will organize a company outing. Button 3, Dr. Giles will fall into an intense state of euphoria lasting for 10 to 20 minutes. SCP-70 is a recurring SCP-603 scene appearing in over 20 versions of SCP-603. So this one has come back quite often. List of recorded adjective: bored, happy, hungry, thirsty, focused, tired, energetic, sad, aroused, overworked, angry, in love, unimpressed, on the toilet.
Oh my god.
Okay, next one. Dash 101. Elias's input requested. Compiled on the 12th of November 2000 blank. Recorded by Dr. H blank. Description: a small 13-character limit text input field is displayed on screen along with the words input requested. Typing any word into the field and pressing enter causes the field to close and changes the message to input received. In addition, the typist displays agnosia of the typed word and whatever object, concept, or being it represents. Dr. H blank, the discoverer who typed hello, displayed confusion when greeted by colleagues with hello or hi and had to be re-educated on the concept of greeting words. Due to confusion and associated mental distress as dash 101 may cause, testing is advised to be restricted to D-class subjects. Note: after the unfortunate case of D349's little incident, any D-class who has input the words you, they, and second person is to be confined to a holding cell. Under no circumstances are they be allowed to freely return to the barracks and come in contact with other person. We had to clean up far too much blood to do that again. Dr. H blank. Wow, so you just completely like forget a word, whatever you put in.
Jeez.
Wow.
Completely forget about it.
Yeah.
Just got memory, nothing.
That's wild because words have such power.
Yeah. And like you can actually take people's vocabulary away just so easily.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrifying.
It is next one has a video, so I'm gonna like screen share it to you. So that because the stream, I mean the stream is on Twitch is only a couple seconds behind, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
So okay, ID-115 Elias's none. Compiled on the 10th December 2000 blank. Recorded by Dr. blank. Description: 3 crosses were displayed in a row and a rapid sequence of beeps was played. The scene was captured and may be observed in the following file. Okay, here we go.
Let me know.
Jesus.
Ow.
Okay, there's nothing else. It's literally just that. Okay, I'm not gonna watch the whole 2 minutes of just that. there have been no recorded units. Wait, there have been no recorded counts of adverse mental or physical effects resulting from the viewing of SCP-603-115. But that hurt.
I didn't like the sound of that.
Yeah, same.
That really like pierced me in the wrong places.
Yeah, right. ID-116, alias none, same day as the previous one. Additional counter was displayed in the center of the screen, starting at 256 and decreasing by 1 every tick. The rate of the ticks fluctuated between 0.5 and 2 hertz. When the counter hit -1, a site-wide power outage occurred, which lasted for 5 seconds. That is a problem.
Jeez.
A site-wide power outage? Or like, who knows how many breaches happens because of this?
Yeah, I'm sure most things actually, are secured through electronic things. Could you imagine if there's a site-wide breach? Maybe they have a lockdown system. Maybe
they probably do.
Yeah, probably. Remember, redundancy is a pretty common,
yeah.
trend.
Not only that, but like if this if this number of the program has happened like more than twice, then after a while they would build in something like that. They wouldn't just allow the test more on the chance that this happens more often.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just gotta think to yourself, is it smart, just to not have a backup? Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ID -118, license none. 1st January 2000 blank, Dr. Blank. Description: the following text was gradually printed to the screen over a period of approximately 2 minutes. Locating printer, searching, and then printer located. That's basically it. The screen was then cleared and the attached document was printed from printer SCPP HPTJ 3740. There were 203 printers connected to the SCP internet when SCP. Oh my god, so 203 printers printed this one page out.
Jeez.
That's a lot of paper gone. Well, I mean, it's only like 2 words on it, so.
Yeah, but that's still a lot of wastage.
Yeah, true.
I don't like this guy. It wastes a lot of paper, man. It's like, I don't like this SCP. Bad for the environment.
ID -121, alias storyteller. 1st of June 2000 blank, recorded by Dr. Blank. Description: when executed, the screen prints the words "searching for image" repeatedly every 20 seconds until it finds a suitable image, searching on any connected or networked hard drives. Testing determined the image had to be of at least a resolution of 1000 pixels square. Aspect ratio seems to also be taken into consideration. If the ratio of the image is too different from the main display, it also will always choose the largest image on file that fits the criteria. When a suitable image is found, the program prints image found processing and remains at the screen for at least 30 seconds, but may take longer depending on the size of the image. After it's finished, it prints the image on the screen in grayscale. Upon closer inspection on a larger display, the image is made up of very small characters which can be pulled from a variety of different fonts used worldwide. Immediately upon viewing the image, a mimetic effect is observed. The subject describes the feeling as inspired and is always very motivated to write a story about the image shown. If allowed, they will compose a short story about the image. If the image is shown to another person, the effect is repeated and the story written about the image will be identical to the first. Rerunning the program with the same image will produce the same story every time. Edit images or photographs of the same area used previously will typically expand upon the first narrative as either a sequel or a prequel. If the subject is advised of the effect, they will vehemently deny any outside assistance with the work, and some may even resort to violence at the claim, even though the subjects with previous writing experiences very rarely show any similarities in writing style to the previous works. The effect will remain for approximately 72 hours, after which they will not remember writing the tale when questioned about it or reading it. They will also not remember much about the days following until the effect wears off. Most do not even remember coming to work, describing the lapse in time as a blur in their memory. Possible use as a short-term amnestic is pending approval. This reminds me of a previous SCP that I read where it was all about like if you showed it was like an image of a couple like random scribbles.
Yeah.
And if you show that to somebody, they get this insane urge to redraw it and then share it to other people. And if they don't find anybody to share it with, they kill themselves.
Oh, so it's one of those 7 days to share this image, right?
Yeah, it's basically like that's the duration, and there's a whole story of like how like one of the agents got sent into a cave as a in like as a military spy thing,
Yeah.
and he got caught, and then the enemy soldier opened up his stuff and then found his image, and then starting to go nuts and show it to his whole army, and everybody started drawing it, and then after a while they ran out of people and then started to kill themselves. They can show it to the same person again, but only like a couple times. After a while the effect lessens. So the guy the soldier guy who went through the agent's stuff the first time went to the agent and tried to show him the picture, but the agent was blind.
Ah.
So he was not affected by it.
Yeah, because you can't see the picture, right?
Yep. And it was like an it's kind of like a job to send in this blind agent to just get rid of a whole army.
Once everyone has seen it,
Yep.
they're all kind of screwed. They just sort of share amongst each other.
Yep. ID 508. Eliza's John, the kids are not safe. Jacob variant. Compiled 19th November 2000 blank. Description: a Jacob window is rendered. The scene is identical to most Jacob iterations. However, a black 1 pixel thick diagonal line is rendered across the screen, and pressing any key other than return has no effect. If the operator presses the return key, the program will enter a line of dialogue into the input field automatically, and Jacob will respond to it. The dialogue is identical each time the program is run. Full transcript. Oh god, there's another addendum. Pressing return additional times after this dialogue finishes will print null indefinitely. Here we go. Jean, the kids are not safe. Where are they now? By the old. The old? Twice and plenty. In toppled, Wimes take you off, sprint into Yonser. Take it or take it. Making it out, faking it. Well, I don't know how about that. Well, I know about that. No, take it. Listen, those kids were shaken by the grievous, shaken far past the H too rich for my blood. Wilt you help? In a minute, but they're dying. Let them to it. Have you any one thing to helps? Yes, a bowl of yes, undefined. Well, let's see it then. But you removed your eyes. I could do that. You did it. What for? No need for those one eyes. Yes. That in the day it turned. What happened to it? I made it for you originally. Then what? Flashed in power. That's great. I know. What about Michael and Rose? I don't care about it. We were given the task, remember? Protect their bodies. Yes. So go do it. What? I was not stopping you. You can help. Okay, not. How not? So, it's a froth one. That's fine. That is what I thought. Look at those kids paying greatly. I know it. Just help them not anymore suffer, okay? I will terminate them now. What? Look, they went it. What is it? What is my shine? No, don't you. I helped them. No. They won't suffer anymore. No, not much. See? This is bad. I slit them quick. Do tristas. They wouldn't hurt more. Void. But we were shopping all day. Did you purchase anything nice? 20 oranges. No. That was a trip.
That was a super weird trip, man.
Yeah. And here we have the last one. ID 734. Eliza, is this A? 23 November 2000 blank, Dr. Zara, runs in 320 times 240 resolution, 256 colors. Program produces various images asking if each one represents the common object or living creature. Typing yes or no makes the scene proceed to the next image. Images do not repeat unless the process is restored entirely as per SCP-603 standard operation. The same images and questions are produced regardless of how questions are answered. This scene reappeared several times. In its third iteration, verification images started appearing, in which giving the wrong answer to those images shuts down the process. And here we have an image that says, "Is this a roller skates?"
There's some roller skates.
Doesn't look like it to me.
No, I don't think so. You'd have to have a very, very lapsed perspective of things for that to be roller skates.
Yeah, man. Wow, that was fun. I like that one.
Yeah, it was an interesting one.
Go put that.
Trippy. But really cool.
You don't know about it because you weren't in the last couple streams, but I put all the names in order of like which one I enjoyed the most to the one I enjoyed lesser.
Okay.
And then at the end, I always like reveal the order.
Ah.
Yes.
Then yeah, just at the end, maybe you have a little tweaks, things like that.
Yeah. My God. Yeah. We're almost halfway.
Okay.
The Cannibal's Banquet, a corrupted ritual.
Fun.
Yes, the highest rated so far. It's apparently safe. It's apparently a safe one. Special containment procedures. SCP-604 consists of a set of objects which all exhibit the same properties and are contained together. Access is restricted to authorized personnel, and anyone attempting to access the containment area without authorization will be immediately detained. All interaction and testing must be cleared with site command. Any staff interacting with SCP-604 must submit to psychological testing before and after interaction. Requests for reports on testing events, subject reactions, and audio-video recordings must be cleared with central records and may not be removed from the record reviewing area. Description: SCP-604 is a set of tableware and dishes consisting of 19 plates of various sizes and designs and 21 goblets, champagne flutes, and other wine glasses. Several are ornately gilded, studded with diamonds and rubies, or made of fine materials such as porcelain, china, and crystal. Most are extremely heavy because of the weight of the rich metals. The cutlery, cloth, chairs, table, and other items that made up the banquet where SCP-604 was discovered have no anomalous properties and are not contained. Whenever an edible solid is placed onto one of the plates or a liquid is poured into one of the drink vessels, the food will transform into human flesh.
Ooh.
Lovely. Or the nearest equivalent organ, body part, or fluid. The change from one product to another seems to be based on similarities between color, smell, and composition, although vague symbolism and mental associations seem to be occasionally involved as well. For example, fleshy steaks will turn into cuts from the thigh, and red wine or juice will into human blood. This can vary between subjects, and the process as to how a change is determined is still under investigation. You better not pour Fanta in one of those cups, man, and it becomes piss for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh god, as much as I love Fanta, what would Chocata be? The yellow, like the blue Fanta, or the... Well, it's actually white.
It's actually white, so it'll probably be just clear piss.
Oh, poor cum.
Oh, yeah, that... Yeah.
No fun times.
Because most of the plates are not large enough in diameter and circumference to create the entire form, most pieces manifest as human infant parts, chicken wings as tiny burnt infant arms, chicken breast as filleted infant pectoral muscle or tissue from the buttocks, and so forth. Oh god. However, tissues from adults do appear occasionally, often when the meat is placed vertically, sticking into the air. Based on analysis on the captured videos and logs, this is how longer, more mature parts were designed, although the plate's products seem only to be able to project beyond the surface straight up at a limit of 1 meter, around 3 feet. Vegetable and non-animal matter can be affected, however it is often selective, and will only affect the main dish. This means prepared meat will retain the herbs, spices, toppings, sauces, and garnishes as it is transformed into human flesh. More than one piece of meat can be placed on SCP-604, but the results are varied, either creating separate pieces, incorporating them altogether into one body system based on similarities in appearance, eggs, and thin slice of beef turning into female reproductive systems, a pile of pig intestines and a cow stomach melding together to form a human digestive system, or choosing one to focus on and leaving all the other untouched, duck stuffed with Kobe beef, becoming an infant torso stuffed with Kobe beef. Damn, this is
really want to get that whoever's like in that general area to people.
Yeah.
Joyous, you know.
Yeah.
Spices, you know, freshly prepared for this, you know.
The other unique ability that SCP-604 possesses is any living creature placed on its surface or submerged inside a liquid contained within a goblet will metamorph into a moving human body part. It will be capable of kinetic activities such as flexing, as in the case of a starfish that turned into a six-fingered baby's hand that opened and closed and grasps as a touch or locomotion, no matter how awkward and slow it is. Severed areas do not bleed, and tendons and muscles still function in normal ways regardless of damage. Tissues will move by whatever means is available, such as inching and crawling forward by curling and extending the body, as the moving finger with an extremely long nail generated from a lobster did, or the floating penis in a large goblet did to swim, its tip jerking up and down to allow it to propel forward. If no form of locomotion is possible, the flesh will simply squirm and jiggle, remaining slightly warm to the touch. A pulse can be detected even when the object in question is not attached to the heart. Transformed items will continue existing as human tissue until consumed, removed from the plate for a long period of time, or expiring from shock and pain, as many seem to freeze and go into a catatonic state similar to shock when stabbed or bitten into, in the case of living tissue. Testing of stomach contents show that transformed items remain human if consumed. Okay, acquisition. SCP-604 was acquired by Marshall, Carter, and Doug. Of course it is them.
These weird fuckers and very clandestine.
They always have the weirdest shit. Operators on blank blank blank. According to C's records, it was moved from a secluded abbey in the blank blank countryside. The monastery and the surrounding village practiced the rites of communion with SCP-604 and consumed human flesh and blood, said by priests to be that of Jesus of Nazareth, by placing wafers under the plates situated on the main altar and drinking blood from the goblets. The wafers were described to have a light, spongy taste, and both manifestations caused extreme religious ecstasy when eaten, and hallucination of the smiling Christian God lovingly offering his body, quoting relative scripture pertaining to the event, and speaking intimately of the sins and tribulation. It is believed that this experience is based on the individual, as testing with identical properties has not reproduced this effect. Of course there was a fucking religious cult that was just okay with eating human flesh.
Well, the body of Christ, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's enhanced by that idea, right? But like, even like any other church would be like, that's messed up.
But there will be some weird fuckers.
There will be some that are like, yeah, this is the actual body.
This is the way. No.
Addendum 1. See supporting document SCP-604-XCH. Extract from document XCH, page 9. Marshall Call and Doc LTD. Whatever. Is LTD lieutenant? Is that what it means? Or does it mean something else?
I think. Could be limited.
Oh. Employed SCP-604 at some of the more exotic auctions, performances, functions, and diners during the meal portion. The likely reasoning behind it, supported by direct quotes, was that it was once in a lifetime event, and those attending were urged to partake in the cannibalism for experience sake, to safely test the waters of the forbidden, in much the same manner that adventure clubs offer bizarre meals such as caramelized insects. The taste and novelty of the flesh was so popular that it was declared an exhibit by the directors of Marshall Collard and Dark Limited and installed in a subsidiary restaurant in the members only section. The highly exclusive restaurant where it was located was called the Cannibals Banquet, and data expunged.
Jeez, man. I wouldn't go to a restaurant even if there was an exclusive room somewhere. Like, and I never got to join the exclusive room. Don't care. I wouldn't go to a place called the Cannibals Banquet.
Same. The
Yeah.
moment I see that, I'll be like, no.
Nah.
You can keep your food. I'm good.
I don't want to partake in something.
Yeah.
That's intensive. No, thank you.
And we have page 32. As living foods were in great demand, Marshall Collard and Dark Limited owned many specialized cooking and zoological facilities. Kittens, puppies, and breeds of tiny monkeys were used for child tissue creation. When larger parts were desired, guillotines were situated directly over SCP-604, as most parts continuous vital signs a few seconds after removal. Certain specimens were also raised from birth in special cages, causing their bones to grow in a certain way, and kept alive while crushed in specific outlines and fed via feeding tubes, so Marshall Collard and Dark Limited could dictate exactly what size and shape the results would be. This is a messed up one. We went from like funny computer program to like messed up baby meat.
Oh god.
Addendum to C log SCP-6042 log. Here it is. A camera is pointing at a long table in a dim, crowded room. A waiter brings in a pig's head on a platter and slides it onto -4. The pig head turns into humans, that of an approximately 50-year-old man with pinkish skin, fatty cheeks, thick lips, and an apple in his mouth. Data redacted. Blank. It tastes like pork. Why does it taste like pork? Just because they used a swine? Well, this isn't really official, is it? No, sir. I assure you that is what human flesh tastes like. But are you sure? Maybe it's just being contaminated or mimicking the flavor or something. Honey, don't whine. I just mean, how do you know what human flesh actually tastes like? This could be completely wrong. Has anyone actually tried real? Don't worry, we have specialists. Besides, all those penises you've been eating would taste like cucumbers then. Raucous laughter.
Oh god.
Oh man. Addendum 3. Another log recovered from a handheld recorder. Man wearing cook whites. This is blank blank, and I'm performing test 12 on Curio B26. Several guests find the resemblance between the food's original form and its final human products repulsive, and have been tasked to find a way to make the flesh look as appealing and realistic as possible, avoiding the bloody of red hue that it occasionally acquires. To do this, I have chosen several foods that can be easily colored and sculpted to look like a head. Test 12 will consist of me baking a cake and carving into the aforementioned shape and then frosting it with the hairstyle and skin tone. Data redacted. Cook. Blank, bring it over. Focuses camera on the cake. Well, there we go. The eyes are especially excellent, Blank. Well, thank you. I used a dropper to get the blue just centered. Okay, place it on the plate. The cake is placed on the plate. Automatically it sags and appears to melt, covering it and dripping off the sides. Well, what the bloody hell just happened? If I were to venture a guess, I would say it turned into a pile of fats and sugars. Yep. You can see some soluble lipids right there, and the yellow. I can't believe they're just experimenting with this. So
Yeah.
it's not even the foundation, it's just, I believe it's not, I might be wrong. Addendum 4, audio and video, cook 1. Okay, there's 3 cooks. Okay, sausages wrapped around the front and the other slabs of steak are held together with gristle. 3 cooks have put together some sort of meat sculpture in the shape of human head. After the blood running down the raw meat with parts of handkerchief. Let's just cover the ear area of the bologna. Are you sure a thin slice of turkey pastrami wouldn't be better? Positive, just with the knife. Pastrami would have been pinned here this way. It lets me slice off the top like this, so I can pour the brains in. It's the attention to little details can make the difference. Okay, 1, 2, 3. They lift up the meat sculpture and place it on one of the plates. It turns into a perfect replica of a human head. Nice. Yeah, great work, guys. Needs hair though. Guess like to see that. Rip it off. Maybe put some tendrils off. Bloody hell. Leave it be, man. It's fine. Addendum 5. Man in suit again. Test 32 on Kirby 26. We shoved various logs together into a wire frame of a human head. Couple keep falling out, but let's see what happens. Place slugs on plate along with the cook. Slugs all drop at once. Bloody hell. Seem to be a little twitching gallbladders, and I would say that's an appendix. That one looks fucking gross. It's oozing. Duodenum, I believe, but yes, I don't think it should be bursting like that.
Oh.
Addendum 6. There's a lot of addendums for this one.
Jeez, man.
Only audio on tape cassette. Log 7. Unidentified voice. Note: it is unknown if Curio B26 could create sapient creatures. When we finally successful to get a living head, the mouth and eyes could simply start opening and closing randomly, and it would drool over itself, or maybe just maybe it would be perfectly intelligent. I know some of our clients are defiant, hoping for the second option, and I've been instructed by the directors to bring it about as best as I can. I would like to remark that when we placed a snake upright on plate 7, it did manifest as a human throat, and the bottom part of the mouth, tongue intact, and began screaming and shrieking, but it was all incoherent, even though extremely loud and piercing. Could hear it all across the building, so I just don't, and that's all we have there. Addendum 7, log 10, only audio. Cook 1, voice sounds straight and upset.
By the way, Bert, I'm going to probably head off. I'm getting a fair bit tired.
Alright.
Long days. I will speak to you then later.
Alright.
Always tell me about some of them later.
I will for sure. I will give you like a synopsis tomorrow then.
Okay. Oh, also, I think you'll like 610.
6-7?
610.
6:10. That's for Saturday. That's not Saturday, not today.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because I only read from 6:00 to 6:09. That's exactly 10.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. Anyways, Boo then.
Yeah. All right.
I'll have fun continuing the rest of this.
Yes.
And see each other soon.
Yes, we shall. All right.
Alright, cheers, Boo.
Good night, brother. Okay, that's that. And we shall continue where we left off. Cook 1. Voice sounds strained and upset. The pile of leeches did not completely turn into a human head. The surface remained the same, but deeper down a human head was generated underneath the first 2 layers. Help me get these things off before it scares a guest. Oh Jesus, oh God. They're all over get them off. Fuck, Jesus, It has been determined by analysis that at this point the head either began choking on some of the leeches or its tongue was covered and drained of blood. That is... It's so gruesome, but it is pretty well done. It's a well written SCP. What? Is this like the highest rating one? Yeah, it is the highest rated one so far. Addendum 8, log 21. A waiter comes in pushing cover a wooden box on top. The box has several slots and holes open in it, and tubes trail out, connecting to IV bags and tiny batteries. A mewling comes from within. The box is lifted up over a plate, put on it, and then pull it off. There is a flash of some kind of twisted, shaved animal, but then a human head appears. The human head is that of a man around 35 with thick black hair and sideburns. He has extremely pale skin and dark circles under his eyes. He's severed at the neck, which reveals muscle in a bloody hole. Where am I? Where am I? What the hell is going? Begins looking around and turning up and down on the sides. Everything seems at a weird angle. Hey, what are you doing? Get that knife away from me. Bon appetit, gentlemen. It's man, it's so fucked. It is so messed up, but this is good for today for Halloween. Whew, we reached the halfway point. I hope the next ones are a bit short. Nice, thank you. Oh, that's a low rating though. Living Storm Cloud. Euclid. SCP-605 is impossible. SCP-605 is impossible to contain with currently available resources. All Foundation efforts are currently directed at regulating its behavior and suppressing public knowledge of its existence. Foundation tracking teams are permanently stationed outside a 15-kilometer radius safe zone from SCP-605 and are equipped with large unmanned aerial vehicles that can be used in case SCP-605 enters an active state. And here we have a picture of SCP-605 in an active state near redacted. Description: SCP-605 is a large, amorphous, and airborne gaseous entity visually similar to a high-altitude cloud formation approximately 180 to 260 meters in diameter. Its exact appearance varies drastically from being nearly invisible during its dormant phase to resembling an enormous storm front while active. It has been observed to move slowly but has not left the region bound by the US state of Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda Islands. While active, SCP-605 exhibits a behavior similar to that of a living predatory organism and will track ships and aircraft in its territory and attempt to engulf them in its body. The active state of SCP-605 also causes anomalous disruptions of the local magnetic field, causing compasses and other navigation systems to malfunction or report erroneous readings. When a ship or aircraft is completely engulfed by SCP-605, it is consumed by a method that is not currently understood, leaving no trace. All this is basically... So wait, is it actually at... It just says here Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda Islands. So is this like... in the Bermuda Triangle, and that's like trying to be all like, this is why the ships and planes vanish. Let's see here. It is. Wow. That okay. I respect that. I mean, there is already so many different theories why the Bermuda Triangle like does things to ships and planes. So this is just a different attempt. So I can see why it's rated low, because it's nothing creative, as in like it already takes a thing that has so many different mythical rumors about it, and it just adds another one that this could have been done. This could have been accidentally been told years ago already, you know. Somebody could have just talked about like, hey, what if there's a cloud that just eats all these things, but instead of eating it just destroys, you know, like something like that. So I can see why this is lower rated, but I do like that this has to do with the Bermuda Triangle, and this is the SCP Foundation's reason why things in the Bermuda Triangle seem to disappear. When a ship or aircraft is completely engulfed by SCP-605, it is consumed. All attempts to study this process to date have failed, as a successful feeding will cause SCP-605 to revert to a dormant state, usually for several years and as long as several decades at a time. And during this time, no anomalous readings can be detected. Due to SCP-605's ability and its presumed link to multiple disappearances of the civilian military assets in the past, the use of unmanned aerial vehicles to feed SCP-605 has been approved to reduce the chance of publicly known incidents. Yeah, that's going to be tough to... As it says, it's impossible to contain because it's a giant storm cloud. So, the only thing to do is feed it. Addendum 1. Analysis of recorded data regarding SCP-605 has shown a minute but detectable increase in the calculated mass of SCP-605. Why does minute and minute have to be the same word? With spikes consistent with known dates on which SCP-605 entered an active phase. Requests for further study and possible countermeasures have been filed and are awaiting 05 approval. That's pretty dope. I like that. Again, I can see why it's lower rated. But I don't think it's like... But I do like what implies. You know what, actually? I like it more than that one. So let me put it up there. Here we go. Okay. The teacher is the next one. Okay, here we go. Oh, we have a callback to knowledge. Ah, yes. Yes. If I recall correctly, it wasn't like knowledge like... Let's see here. SB is an area near a storage yard next to the abandoned coal mine in northern Michigan. Once the subject enters the area, after 6 seconds, the subject is given complete and random knowledge, and it is random. Yep. Okay. Here we go. The teacher. Euclid, key the classification under review. So there is a chance. You say there is a chance. SCP-606 is currently housed of its own will in an unfurnished 20 meters times 25 meters times 8 meter cell at site blank. The entrance to which is sealed by 25 centimeter steel blast doors on either side of an airlock. No personnel are to enter SCP-606 containment cell except under controlled testing circumstances or with authorization from a staff member of level 4 clearances or higher. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and mimetic are to be in place at all times according to standard operating procedure. Due to SCP-606 non-corporeal nature, no reliable security measures in case of a containment breach have been developed at this time. In the event of such breach, all personnel should refer to Plan ETA 6. Though use of a mobile remotely operating device, SCP-606 is to be provided with an ordinary USB flash storage device containing no less than 2 megabytes of data every 12 hours. The data contained on the device is to be left to the discretion of SCP-606 supervisor, but text from classic literature or encyclopedias, movie clips, or audio files of historical speeches are ideal. In an emergency situation, this may be substituted with data in any form such as print, compact discs, or videotapes. A careful record of all data provided to SCP-606 must be kept. SCP-606 should not be given repeated information except in an emergency situation. No material pertaining to the Foundation or the anomalous subject should be provided to SCP-606 under any circumstances. I need to drink something. Been talking non-stop. Need some water in me. Oh yeah. Feels good to drink water again. Didn't have any water yesterday. SCP-606 appears as a spherical mass of light of variable size and intensity. Most commonly, it is approximately 85 centimeters in diameter and emits 220 candelas of luminosity, but has been observed to grow to up to 10 meters in diameter and emit over 100,000 candelas. SCP-606 has also been observed to shrink to 4 centimeters in diameter, emitting less than 0.5 candela, despite its ability to emit large amounts of light. SCP-606 emits no heat. It does not appear to be composed of any form of matter and is able to pass through material barriers effortlessly. Effortlessly. Jesus, I cannot even speak anymore. It is presently theorized that SCP-606 is an entity composed purely of knowledge or information, and information obtained from SCP-606 itself appears to corroborate this. Furthermore, SCP-606 appears to derive sustenance from information growing in both size and luminosity. When provided with source of information, it is to its aforementioned maximum size and shrinking when it is deprived of this. So that's why it's called a teacher, because it's giving you knowledge and information. It is capable of feeding off a large number of different sources, including digital devices, books, magnetic tape, and living beings, which simply involves SCP-606 surrounding the object. This process does not appear to affect its source in any way. Digital media stored in the flash drive is used in the maintenance of SCP-606, so the specific details as well as approximate size of all information provided to SCP-606 may be easily recorded. The specification for SCP-606 maintains listed above have been formulated through both discussion with SCP-606 and prolonged observation. SCP-606 appears to hold a preference for classical literature, for example, and the given amount has been observed to keep SCP-606 at its normal size and luminosity. SCP-606 is sapient, apparently self-aware of all knowledge it has gained over its existence, and capable of intelligent communication. It accomplishes this by producing pure sine wave tones through an unknown mechanism that has been refined through teaching SCP-606 a tone-based language system of the Foundation own invention, which allow personnel of level 2 or above assigned to SCP-606 are required to learn. If another sapient individual enters SCP-606 containment cell, it will attempt to enlighten them, to use SCP-606's own words. This involves SCP-606 moving to surround the being's head or similar equivalent. This results in generalized tonic-clonic epileptic seizures for a period of 30 seconds to 5 minutes, after which the individual lapses into a coma followed by death. Okay. Well, you're a bad teacher. You're a horrible teacher if that's what happens to your students. EEG monitoring of affected individuals during this process has shown a massive increase in activity of all brain waves, particularly gamma and beta type waves. It is presently theorized that this is the result of SCP-606 attempting to transfer all the information it has gathered to the individual's brain through an unknown process, despite the normal human brain being unable to sustain the stress of such a procedure. Results of interviews with SCP-606 have been mixed, although it has previously deigned to answer some basic questions about itself and its history, and any more in-depth questioning on the topics it possesses knowledge of inevitably results. I don't know why I couldn't say that for the results in a request by SCP-606 to enlighten the interviewer and a refusal to answer further questions. Requests made to SCP-606 to refrain from attempting to enlighten without permission have been partially complied with. SCP-606 no longer tries to enlighten every individual it comes in contact with, but it has still sporadically tried to perform the process without prompting. For this reason, access to SCP-606 cell is restricted. SCP-606 was discovered by the Foundation on 6/11/19 blank in blank France. After a rash of missing person reports was brought to the Foundation attention, personnel subsequently managed to lure SCP-606 into a transport vehicle and transferred it to its current facility by offering it D-class personnel to enlighten. Once its non-corporeal nature was discovered, SCP-606 was asked why it did not attempt to evade capture. It replied that it wished to see what would occur. As SCP-606 is able to pass through all forms of matter, it presumably stays in Foundation custody of its own free will, perhaps due to the constant supply of information provided to it. Addendum 1. Complex communication with SCP-606 was made possible on 2/4/2000 blank when Doctors blank and blank completed their work on the aforementioned tone-based language. Details of this language were transcribed onto normal writing paper and left in SCP-606 containment chamber. An excerpt from SCP-606's first interview follows, conducted from a secured monitoring room over microphone. SCP-606 is capable of understanding normal human speech, and thus Dr. Blank's commentary is in English. Okay. Can you understand me? Yes. How do you learn to do this? I listen. Could you tell us what you are? I am the teacher. Could you be more specific? I am the teacher. I am a purveyor of knowledge. Enter this chamber and I shall enlighten you. I do not wish to do that at the moment. May I ask you some more questions? I provide answers. So, how old are you? I am as old as is necessary. Could you explain what you mean by that? These sounds you have taught me are limited. I may only enlighten you directly. How do you enlighten people? I teach them. Are you aware that this causes your students to die? I do not call it death. It is the consequence of being inadequate. What do you teach? I teach all that I have learned. Do you know who I am? You are that which calls itself human. You fellow refers to you as doctor. Do you know what a doctor is? It is your word for one who has been taught and teaches, in your own fashion at least. Can you teach me through talking to me? I wish to enlighten you. If you do not wish to be enlightened, I have no use for you. Okay. Okay. Seems like you were just focused on one way of teaching and then decide to branch out. At this point, SCP-606 halted the interview and refused to answer further questions for some days from Dr. Blank. Subsequent interviews have gained little more information of significance on SCP-606 or the subject it claims to know about. Addendum 2, after reviewing the reports on 606, in particular experiment 606-blank, I'm becoming increasingly suspicious that the deaths of its students are not accidental. The possibility that it has some relevant purpose completely independent of its teaching cannot be discounted. Yes, everybody says that it's just trying to teach people, but all we know is that it causes them to kneel over and die. No solid evidence for its actually being what we think it has been uncovered. We don't even have any way of stopping this damn thing. Countermeasures research should be a top priority for Section Blank in collaboration with the 606 staff group. A Kita upgrade must be taken into consideration, Dr. Major. It's kind of like the Plague Doctor, right? Which number is he again? He's like one of the earlier numbers. Yeah, here we go. He's like the Plague Doctor. They think they are doing their work correctly and that they're doing it a greater something for the greater good of mankind, but then they kind of just kill whoever they touch, you know. So I feel like that's kind of the same way. This SCP-606 just might think it's that it's what was I saying? That it's teaching, and yeah, the fact that they're dying is just like, yeah, it's just not adequate. It's just not good enough. Same with the Plague Doctor. Is like he sees the pestilence and everything and tries to heal you, and then once you're dead, that he considers you cured. At the end, death is more just a reaction to their action, but not their intention. That could also, I mean, that's just a theory. I could be fully wrong with that. Dorian the Grey Cat. Okay. Euclid. Euclid. Subject currently resides with Agent Blank, who it has chosen as its owner. Both Agent Blank and SCP-607 are to be placed under full surveillance for study, and Agent Blank is to report to Dr. Blank for psychiatric evaluation every 2 weeks. A task force should be ready at all times with at least one D-class personnel on hand for a subject to imprint on in the case of the death of SCP-607 or Agent Blank. When not being directly held or monitored by Agent Blank, SCP-607 is kept shackled and bound in a small, portable containment chamber. The containment chamber is designed to immobilize SCP-607, allow medical personnel to insert feeding tubes, IV drips, catheters, and other life-supporting devices. Due to the nature of SCP-607, Agent Blank has elected to keep the portable containment chamber on its person or in his immediate vicinity at all times. What is this cat? What is this cat? SCP-607 is a large gray male American short-haired cat of indeterminate age with a collar reading Dorian. SCP-607 was discovered in the late 19 blank when a man known as A blank S blank suddenly and without warning violently expired at a cocktail party in uptown New York City. Mr. S blank death was later found to coincide perfectly with the moment a party attendant leaving the home mistakenly moment a party attendee leaving the home mistakenly backed over S blank's cat. Oh, there's a link. There's a link between those two. Due to the mysterious nature of S blank's death, a local foundation operative joined the investigation as a consultant. Special Agent F blank had stepped outside to smoke a cigarette when he heard a cute little mewling sound. SCP-607 subsequently bonded with Agent F blank, who chose to bring it back to the foundation as a pet and companion. Agent F blank reports difficulty in supporting SCP-607. The cat would not eat, became lethargic, and seemed to lack a will to live. Agent F blank jokingly told fellow agents he was experiencing sympathy hunger pains. 7 days after Agent F's initial contact with SCP-607, both he and the cat died of starvation. So, yeah. Whoever the cat uses as its owner, if the cat dies, you die. You're dead too. Which sucks, because cats don't live that long compared to humans. So, yeah. The circumstances surrounding Agent F and Mr. S deaths piqued the interest of the Foundation. A cat's dead body was taken to the isolation chamber until further testing could be ordered. SCP-607 reanimated approximately 24 hours after its estimated death time. It was correctly speculated that once SCP-607 bonded with a person, a negatively symbiotic relationship was formed. SCP-607 bonds with the first human individual it comes into contact with after reanimation. Several experiments were conducted, each involving bonding SCP-607 to D-class personnel. Testing showed that injuries inflicted on SCP-607 would show up on the bonded person in the closest anatomically representation possible. Striking SCP-607 resulted in bruises on the personnel. Breaking one of the cat's front legs resulted in the personnel's broken arm. Don't hurt the cat like that. Termination of SCP-607 via gunshot resulted in death of the bonded personnel via a bullet hole with no bullet found. In all of the experiments, SCP-607 reanimated approximately 24 hours after death with no apparent physical injuries. Perhaps most important to note, however, is SCP-607's behavioral tendencies. Regardless of the bonded individual's attempts to appease the cat, 607 is suicidal. Oh. Oh, okay. Fantastic. So not only does it bond with you, then it just decides to kill itself off. It's just like, well, now that we have a connection. SCP-607, and don't dream in there. I can see all the dog people that hate cats being like, see, this is why cats fucking SCP-607 has been observed starving itself, inflicting self-harm with its teeth and claws, running into traffic, antagonizing large dogs, and then allowing itself to be mauled, eating poisonous materials, jumping into the moving parts of heavy machinery, and attempting to enter key containment chambers. In all cases, the death of SCP-607 has resulted in the death of the bonded individual, with injuries and causes of death mirroring those of SCP-607. Death and injury testing on SCP-607 has ceased after Agent Blank accidentally bonded with it during an unauthorized breach of the containment chamber. SCP-607 still displays suicidal tendencies despite Agent Blank's persistent attempts to form a favorable relationship with it. Agent Blank has suffered severe bodily harm several times, leading to the decision to restrain SCP-607 in a portable containment chamber fitted with a life support system. Agent Blank is under close observation both to ensure psychological stability and to study the relationship between Agent Blank and SCP-607. At this time, SCP-607 still displays suicidal tendencies when removed from restraint. It is unknown if SCP-607 has always displayed such tendencies or if they are due to its resentment of the Foundation and the initial testing performed on it. I mean, it's hard to tell. Like the fact that somebody backed up into it. It was probably not the first time he died with while being bonded to somebody. So yeah, but that's harsh. That's crazy. Wait, did I not? Oh, I didn't. I don't think I. Oops. Didn't put the teacher in the notes in the list. 2 more left. I hope they're short because I'm getting tired myself as well. Nice. That's a short one. Fractal tinsel is a safe. SCP-608 is to be held in a vacuum chamber at all times while not the subject of active research. Magnetic levitation is to be used to suspend the object in the center of the chamber. In the event of either of these measures following, a Class 3 evacuation of non-essential personnel is to be undertaken, and containment measures are to be restored as soon as possible. If containment failure persists for more than 1 hour, a Class 4 evacuation of personnel not actively involved in the containment of the item is to be undertaken in the event of a super pressurized for whatever reason, or Class 5 evacuation and cleanup must be performed immediately. Description: SCP-608 appears to be a length of silver tinsel with an unusually furry appearance, although depending on environment... What actually is a tinsel again? Although depending on environment, the item may be surrounded by a halo of decaying particles. Any object coming into contact with it disintegrates slowly, the process being halted the instant that it is removed. At the same time, the halo increases in intensity. A microscope examination, radar, sonar, MRI, and all other known examination techniques are unable to provide insight beyond the fact that the object appears fuzzy, with no readily defined border. Rather, it appears to dissipate into the surroundings. This, combined with the disintegration property, led to the SCP's earlier misclassification as Euclid. Recent investigations have revealed, however, that the item properties arise from a redacted state, or more simply, its existence as a fractal. In layman's terms, the item has a potentially infinite number of progressively smaller branches radiating off the substance in such a way that micro-examination and macro-examination produce similar or identical results. The disintegration effects are due to the monofilament and finer branches slicing through a substance at the molecular or atomic level. See Addendum 1. Discovery: SCP-608 originally came to the attention of the Foundation after reports of glowing tinsel in 19 blank. Considered unlikely to be important, the item was nevertheless sought out. Unfortunately, the house in which it was kept at the time collapsed on it for a reason unknown, causing a large mass to be pressed into the object. The effect was comparable to a redacted, producing explosive force of blank tons. The moment it has tons in the word, so it's big. As well as considerable quantities of alpha, beta, gamma, and redacted radiation. No survivors were found within redacted of the origin, but the item survived apparently unharmed. Research potential: the research team is currently awaiting permission to attempt firing beams of small particles at the object in the hopes of discovering more fundamental particles than those currently known. In particular, the ability of the object to baffle lasers has been the source of some speculation and is high on the priority list if such research is ever permitted. Addendum 1. Once the precise nature of the item was determined, it was immediately confined to a vacuum chamber. Attempts were made to obtain a sample for analysis. Results follow. Date: blank 2000 blank, which is all of them looks like. Tools: steel scissors. Scissor blades were ruined, no visible impact. Vanadium hardened steel saw blades ruined, no visible impact. Halo noticeably intensifies, no damage with the 10 kilowatts laser, I guess. 100 kilowatts. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Table saw with blade composed of SCP. Oh, an SCP blade. The halo intensified when the tool was brought within approximately 1 meter. There was a noticeable increase in both alpha, beta, and particles. Note as the tool moved within 55 millimeters, which is 50 centimeters. Half a meter. Weird way to say it. Evacuation of non-essential increase in both alpha and beta particles noted. Evacuation of non-essential personnel was undertaken before proceeding with the test. After the go-ahead was received, monitoring devices began to cease operating, beginning with the most sensitive people up to 30 miles away. No unease likely because of redacted particles. No more data was received after the item came within 100 millimeters of the tool. On later investigation on the site, all organic material was with data expunged, along with other large molecules such as diamonds. It is theorized that the super dense SCP broke down in a chain reaction at the subatomic level. Attempts are ongoing to recover data from the sources not as close to the blast point. Addendum 2, on 2000 an interference spectrometer was used to attempt to determine its composition. The test result indicated the presence of silver, platinum, and polymers containing super heavy elements. As yet, no mechanism whereby these substances could be compressed to the width observed in the item has been proposed. Although research is ongoing, one suggestion is that only the main body consists of these substances and the microfibers are another substance entirely. Okay, I'm slowly getting a bit tired, so I'm glad that we're by the last one, which is called Dr. Wondertainment's Ontological 8 Balls. Just go add this to the... Here we go, and let's get this done. Hey, we have a keyter! We have a keytar. SCP-609 is to be stored in. Oh my god, I'm slowly losing my mind. Because I can feel myself like fading out since I didn't sleep a lot last night. 609 is to be stored in an individual opaque container inside a locker at Research Facility 5. All personnel must conduct Protocol 94 Gyatso before observing any number of SCP-609-1 to ensure a clear and focused mind. Agents who locate instances of -1 are to immediately break visual contact until the object is contained. Update blank blank blank. SCP-609 has been transferred. It is now to be contained in opaque locked bins at storage sites 32. Shouldn't have done that. Now my mouth is full of saliva. Because control of SCP-609-1 is highly difficult due to ironic process theory, only trained researchers with level 2 clearance and above are permitted to view it for experimental purposes. -A is to be secured in storage locker 11 at Research Facility 5. Viewing the text of SCP-609-A in whole or in part requires permission from the head researcher. Description: SCP-609 is a collection of identical green billiard balls in the American pool style which measure 57.15 millimeters in diameter and are believed to exist only as immaterial manifestation of a concept. Instances of SCP-609 designated -1 are unbound by physical laws. Each instance is impervious to damage, undetectable except by the naked eye, and unable to conduct heat. Instead, they always feel cold to the touch. -1 can be manipulated by thought. When a sapient creature is in direct visual contact with -1, it will emulate the action the user imagines, including motion, duplication, and instantaneous manifestation at a visualized location. Observers cannot alter the physical appearance of -1 or erase it from its existence. According to the object's documentation -A as described below, SCP-609 is intended to be a literalistic embodiment of Plato's theory of form, which I don't know. Great. Researchers have conjectured. Oh my god, conjectured that SCP-609 can be controlled through visualization because -1 and the concept of -1 are the same object, and that -1 cannot be damaged or otherwise mutilated because -1 is a manifestation of an immutable metaphysical form. If multiple observers attempt to activate -1 simultaneously, an additional instance of -1 will manifest for each observer. As a result of its thought-activated application, SCP-609 has proliferated under Foundation custody. See document -A for current estimates. When -1 is relocated or to a generated in an area. When -1 is relocated to or generated in an area outside of the viewer's visual range, a recovery mission is required to resume full containment of SCP-609. Locations from which -1 have been recovered include the Research Facility 5 kitchen, the Research Facility 5 second floor bathroom, the apartment of Researcher Blank on top of television, a warehouse in Pasadena where SCP Blank had been recently located. The set of television series Redacted breach occurred during a taping. All footage of the event was confiscated and amnestics were administered to all witnesses. Good. Pretty close, I assume. The frontal lobe of Assistant Researcher Blank, the memory tissue of Researcher Blank, Earth's moon, currently unrecoverable. Well, it's just up there now. SCP-609 was recovered with a yellow box believed to be its packaging. The box is labeled Dr. One Entertainment's Ontological 6-ball. In large text, although the typography differs in comparison to the other products recovered from the same manufacturer. Smaller graphics below the title depict a marble burst of plateau with a speech below that says, "It really exists," and an unidentified grinning woman exclaiming, "Now subject to casualty." A green pool ball is visible inside through a cellophane window. The following text is printed on the back. Just checking what this is all about. But I will probably read it. Hey kids, have you ever wondered whether your experiences are fully authentic or if only your thoughts are real and the world around you is a web of lies? Now the question is immaterial. With your new ontological 6-ball, you can use your imagination to make the hardest new learning toy that cannot be. It floats, sent into the air with your thought power. It flies. Did you think it could only float without moving? You should be smarter than that. Smarter. Okay. Why does it say smarter? Oh, I have no idea. It can go anywhere. Think real hard of any place fun times can be had. Ontological 6-ball is probably there already. It possesses the highest and most fundamental kind of reality. All other objects which share its form are imperfect reflections of its ultimate truth. Did you create it or did it create you? Don't put this cartess before the horse. If you don't think this is the grooviest toy out there, humor must be joking. And Faggot, what the hell is a humor? Okay. What the hell is a humor? A good question. A humor is a way to determine the strength and or amount of reality in a given area. Now you may have issues with reality. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to read this. I don't think it's really that necessary. Caution, some assembly required. Dr. Wonderpain assumes no liability for injuries, accidents, or existential nausea caused by physical or intellectual misuse of ontological 6-ball. Dr. Wonderpain does not endorse solipsism and any ominous implications that result from use of ontological 6-ball are not views shared by Dr. Wonderpain's ontological 6-ball is not beholden to space-time. Ontological 6-ball cannot be forgotten or unlearned. No copyright date, retail sticker, or edit or other identifying information is present on the packaging. The packet was not intended to contain -1. The object seen through the cellophane window is a paper display insert designed to simulate a billiard ball. Instead, the object designated -A is enclosed. -A is a cognito hazard 32-page booklet titled Dr. Valentine's Ontological Six-Ball Assembly Guide. The first page consists of a disclaimer. I'm so sorry if my reading is going downhill. I'm so tired. Caution: make sure to read all instructions and warnings before assembling or operating. Ontological six-ball, inadequate, modified, or otherwise improper assembly of ontological six-ball may result in undesired functions. If ontological six-ball begins to surround you to the exclusion of everything else, making you feel confused, lonely, and like the only thing you can ever be sure of it is the ontological six-ball, stop playing and take a break. By possessing ontological six-ball or any included material, including knowledge of the existence of ontological six-ball, you agree to accept all liability for consequences, accidental or metaphysical inherent of ontological six-ball, and also consent that ontological six-ball will always be a fundamental part of who you are. Have fun. The remaining pages contain comprehensive instructions on assembling -1 through careful directed thought. Printed in 6-point type of no illustration, the booklet describes in exhaustive detail the appearance, construction, physical properties, and behavior, cultural significance, and symbolism, and other aspects of a pool ball made in America, CA, circa the 1970s, as related by someone in a state of severe mental distress. The subject who read -A in its entirety have demonstrated their ability to generate -1 through concentration. Although amnestic therapy is ineffective in reversing this effect, it can erase knowledge of the ability from the subject's minds, generally eliminating its use unless the subject is somehow informed or reminded of the ability through, for example, viewing the pool table as physical object in the color green or the number 6. I am so tired. And here it is. Here's the list. So I will say that the computer program was definitely the most fun. It was the most fun to read through. It was clever. Kind of wish they had like a much bigger list, even though like today I would probably, if they had a bigger list today, I wouldn't have read the whole thing because I'm just super tired. But I do wish there was a bigger list to read through. The Cannibal Banquet, a Corrupted Ritual, it's very messed up, but it's just, it does, one of the things about Marshall, Carter, Marshall, and Dark Limited is that they always have really weird SCPs, but they're also very iconic and fun. Cannibal Banquet is not really fun compared to as in the, it's not in the same category of fun as the self-replicating computer program, but it's just like the way it's written is fun to read through. The Sculptor of Soho, yeah, as my friend and I just said, it's like a snobbish, it's like a very snobbish artist, but also I think like the idea of like a poltergeist that just wants to make sculptors, just wants to sculpt and make statues. Pretty dope. Throwing the Grey Cat, piece of shit, absolute piece of shit, and I love him. Living Storm Cloud, I like the idea that it is another idea of what could be potentially happening in the Bermuda Triangle. That guy, yeah, like I think the image of him is eerie because he's like just nothing until like you bump into him or you in close proximity, and then suddenly like just, and then starts talking to you as if nothing's weird. Dr. Valentine's Ontological Six-Ball, yeah, I enjoyed the fact that it's a six-ball that just does whatever you want it to do, as long as you can think about it. Sophocles Chorus, I think that's a very cool idea for like a security system. It's of course very dangerous for the fact that like one of them dies and you're nearby, they all just go come to us. The Teacher, yeah, big ball of light kills you with knowledge. But I do feel like They could have done like a little bit more of the interview part. It seemed like very much like repetitive. I might just be like I'm too tired. Fractal tinsel destroy stuff. Tinsel that destroys stuff and is radioactive, and depending on something that comes close to it, halos will grow out of it. I am so tired. I'm so tired, guys. I need to go to sleep now. I need to go to bed, even though I want to watch a movie, but I'm going head off to bed now. All right. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I see you guys on Wednesday, probably 9 p.m. The Afro's review.